And the Lonely Marks are live.
We are live. That is correct. We are
Yeah.
back. Episode 6 of the Lonely Marks podcast, which is like 3 more than the podcast Jordan and I did before this. In
I mean, that's what birthed this.
much
You know
longer
what I mean,
time,
though.
too.
So,
with more regularity.
Listen, Richie, if I wanted snarky comments, I would have stayed at work.
Okay.
I want
But yes,
snarky
we are
comments. I'll ask your damn dogs. Shut the hell up.
Yeah,
Keep
we're
the
gonna give
peanut
dogs
gallery to
3
a minimum.
chances tonight.
Yeah.
The third one, you're just gonna try to. We'll do charades for you, and we'll try to figure out what your matches are.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of matches, that's what we're talking about tonight. We did the draft last week, as you saw, and we've created our cards. And to say that this was easy would be a lie, because man, there could have gone so many ways. I even tried to predict your guys' cards, or at least your main events, and I don't know if I'm correct. So we'll see. We'll see. First off, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah. Richie lost to Brian in trivia again, so
You think
nobody watches that, but they do.
That's
find that over on the Pierce Code channel. Why don't you comment more than Barber?
Because I was trying to play along, and I didn't want to give answers in the chat.
Oh, you do it after they've been given, though.
Well, yeah, but not. It's like the movie lists, so that one was tough.
Oh, that one, yeah, you can't really do. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Carell, how there were so many big ones left off. I
was surprised that didn't go longer because I mean, Get Smart, yeah, a lot of stuff was still on that one.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, Richie wasn't involved in the Steve Carell one, so it's probably just hitting a little for him. So we'll stop Richie. Don't worry, because we're not here to talk about movies. Austin and I do that on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Okay. While we're playing stuff, I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah, we are here to do our cards. I had the toughest time coming up with the name of a show. So tough, in fact, it's unnamed at the moment. So
hopefully, you got about 5 more minutes. So hurry up, Jacob.
Yeah, hopefully while Austin is going. So before we start, who has a pre-show match?
I do.
I don't.
You don't? So how about we go to Austin and Jordan first for their pre-show, and then we'll circle back and do the main cards.
Okay.
So, okay. Which means I have more than 5 minutes to come up with the name of the show.
All right. I have a name of my promotion, but I don't really have a name of the individual show, but I can just, I'll just call it Begins or something, just come up with something silly, just whatever. But I have a WAW, We Are Wrestling. So that's just very, very simple, straight to the point. So, but yeah, it's corny, I know, but it is what it is. I'm not very good with coming up with that kind of thing, but I think my card is solid. So you'll see as we go. All right. But yeah, so my pre-show, I just thought it was natural with me because I was able to draft Mean Gene Oakland, and back in the day, he used to do those segments on Raw and whatnot, where they go to him and he would run down the cards, the Royal Rumble report, the King of the Ring report, the SummerSlam report, et cetera, et cetera. He was very good at doing those straight rundowns. He'd be like, Mr. Perfect versus Shawn Michaels, two worlds collide, whatever. So we could go to him a couple of times throughout the little pre-show, sort of a Sunday Night Heat style, and then end with a just to tease a nice 6 to 8 minute match. So as much as I love these guys, I just had to bump into the pre-show, but there are stakes for my follow-up show because it'll be a number 1 contender match for my Intercontinental title. I just went sort of a generic, because it really is Intercontinental with my show because I have many Japanese wrestlers, a lot of sort of things. So I just went with that for my mid-card title. As we said, we could have, maybe 4 titles. I've got a women's title, Intercontinental, tag team, and a world title. But number one contender, Lance Storm versus Shelton Benjamin should be a nice little tease banger. 6 to 8 minutes. Have these guys just go out there, have Benjamin do some nice athletic stuff, do his little, jump to the top turnbuckle, do some fun things. Lance Storm stretch him out a little bit in some submissions, and in that one, I would have Lance Storm go over with the Maple Leaf after countering one of Benjamin's big high flying moves, and have him become my number one contender for the IC title. So that'll end my pre-show and go into my main card.
Nice. I like that. That'd be a solid match. I would
Yeah.
very much like to see that.
And from what I can tell, I don't think they ever had a match against each other. I think so. I tried to look them, some of these up to see if because not all my matches, were like potentials at any given point. But I tried to see a few of my matches, like I guess happened in real life, but some of them were sort of dream matches that either could have happened or one of them
Shelton
really
Benjamin
could
too?
if they did. And Lance Storm, my thing.
When you're doing your research, didn't you find out? I think we talked about this. Didn't you find out that they haven't wrestled each other, but they randomly tagged on one show? I think
Something like that. Yeah, they did
once in 2002 they were a tag team prior
in like
to
a dark
SmackDown,
match or a house match or
defeating
something. Yeah.
Simon Dean and Val Venus. It was
Yeah.
prior to SmackDown.
By the way, I was totally listening. As soon as we started, my mother dog was pestering me and he needed to take a piss. So I was like, God damn it, just leave me alone. When I was listening, but yeah, no, that does sound like a great match. That's a great feature match. I'm glad you're getting Lance Storm his due, because I feel like in wrestling, especially in WWE, he didn't.
Yeah, and I think the only reason that match didn't happen is I think around the time Lance was on Raw and Benjamin was on SmackDown doing the Team Angle thing, so they just never crossed paths, in that aspect. But I think they could have had a hell of a match, had they crossed paths, a nice, sort of intercontinental sort of situation, which is why it's a number one contender match. And yeah, I'll have Lance Storm go over, and basically he will face the winner of my intercontinental match the next night on whatever my I'm assuming we all have some kind of weekly television show, not like a Raw situation, but whatever, on my TV show, he will get his match on there. So there you go.
Nice. All right, Jordan with the graphics.
Yeah, you guys don't have custom match graphics because I do. As Pat said, you can have a nice
No, I
little
have a real
pre-show.
job.
Marie, I have a real job. I know how to balance things and actually put work into my make believe. As he said, we'll have a nice little pre-show. I got Maria Menounos in the back collecting some interviews, going down the card, and then we're gonna kick things off with a little bit of a young-ish Lions challenge match here. Two great guys, Kyle O'Reilly, Shingo Takagi. Nice match. I just think it'd be a great way to kind of test the waters here, test the cameras, you know what I mean, get people excited. If you haven't paid for my show after seeing this match, you'll want to pay for the show. So this is what's on my kickoff pre-show, free for all. Sunday Night Heat.
You're bearing the lead. What is EWE?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Everyone love everyone.
Everyone wrestle everyone.
I don't think those letters max up, Jacob. Everyone love everyone?
No, everyone love everyone.
Oh, love. Gotcha.
Everyone love everyone.
Well, wait a second.
That's solid match. That's I don't know, man. Like if that's on your kickoff show, if that is your show must be stacked, because
These are dream cards, baby.
Trust me, my card is stacked. If I've got Lance Storm and Shelton Benjamin in a pre-show match, trust me, like my card is pretty damn stacked.
No filler, baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
yeah.
should name my show that. Shit, wait. Let me make that poster real quick. All filler, no filler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that's highly original. Boom. All right. So now with that, I can't. Sorry, Jordan. I can't speak on your match much because obviously I know who Kyle O'Reilly is. I think he's a fantastic talent, but I haven't seen much of Shingo to really comment on his style.
He's only been in Ring of Honor.
I've shared chips and salsa with Shingo Tagashi. Just a fun fact. After a Full Impact Pro show. before he was like a super main event guy. So yeah, fun fact about Pez.
Look at Pez dropping names.
Well, we were just on a stream with John Marr in the community, and he's wrestled Super Dragon. Did not know that. He just kept that to his chair. He kept that tight to his chair.
Oh wow, there you
Look at Richie dropping names now.
go.
I once met Rob Van Dam at a gas station.
Hey.
His head's a lot bigger in person than it is on the TV. Just want to point that out. Speaking of dropping names, Austin, why don't you drop the names of your
All
first
right.
match?
Yeah, so my opening contest, obviously, I want something really hot and really fun to kick the show off, and a bit of a dream match. Although I will say I feel like this match almost could have happened because one of my guys has wrestled a man that's similar to that. But yeah, about 8 to 10 minutes. Really great sort of light heavyweight cruiserweight open. I'm going to go Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Zack Sabre Jr., the Battle of the Juniors, because my Rey Mysterio is going to be like sort of circa 1998, 99. And yeah, how Mysterio and Zack Sabre Jr. Go at a nice clash of styles. Sabre can definitely roll with his with the Rey Mysterio's high flying, but also obviously he's known for those wacky, crazy submissions. And with a guy like Mysterio, he could really stretch him out and put him in some crazy pretzel-like situations and just really, really stretch him. And this one, have him go back and forth for 8 to 10, and have Sabre put him in some nutty submission. For the win, so and have him go over. So it's like I was looking at him to see. I don't think they've ever had a match, although Rey Mysterio has wrestled Will Ospreay, so that's kind of close. At a Defiant show in 2017, sort of when he was a free agent, did a couple of those types of matches. But very close one, and I'd really like to see these guys have a match, both in their primes. I think it'd be a hell of a contest.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
By the way, did we establish, Jordan, who's going over in your in Chicago and Kyle O'Reilly? Did you say?
I didn't put someone over. I didn't put over anyone, but I guess I'll start doing that. Takagi for the win.
Every match ends in a no contest.
Well, here's an idea, Jacob. When you want to change what we're doing, maybe not do it the day of. Maybe let us know a couple days in advance. That'd be nice.
No, I said I don't know if you guys are, but I am. I didn't say you guys had to.
Well, now it's awkward if we don't.
Maybe you learn to read and comprehend.
But anyway,
No.
Maybe
suggest things not the day of.
Rey Mysterio versus Zack Sabre. That's a solid match.
Mm-hmm.
I like this a lot. Like I said, good clash of styles. Sabre more of the technical. They have never wrestled. The closest that they would have came as a 6-man tag at WrestleCon in 2016 in Dallas. They were on opposing teams: Seidel, Mysterio, and Ricochet against Sabre, Chris Hero, and Brian Cage. So maybe they touched a little bit there, but that's the closest they would have ever came.
Yeah, so I'd like to see him have a nice one-on-one encounter, and just like I said, 8 to 10, just nothing too long. You always would just want to keep a opener kind of short and sweet, and get the crowd going. And there you have it. So that'll be my opener.
Yeah, it's solid. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really became a fan of Zack Sabre Jr. during the Cruiserweight Classic. That's really when I got to see more, because I'm not a big international wrestling watcher. So I know he's big in that part of the world.
We know, Jacob. We don't know who Shingo Takagi is. We know.
Hey, no, you don't get to mute yourself.
I took the power from.
He's been married or something.
Shoot. Anyways, moving on. I in that time I was able to come up with the name of a show. I had the name of the promotion. We're just gonna keep it simple. It's Northwest Pro, NWP for short, because I live in the Pacific Northwest, but Pacific Northwest Pro was too much. So and the show, since it's the first one, we're gonna call it Emergence. We are emerging, and we are becoming the.
Hey, that's what
company.
FIP called their first show. The place where Pez had sushi with Chico.
And I also believe I also believe it's an Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. Just It's a
So what? They don't get to claim a word.
There's only so many words in the English
I
language. You're gonna have
know.
crossover at some point.
It's fine. I'm pointing it out to be a dick.
Yeah. You know how many like resurrections or like returns or whatever there's been of anything.
Impact have a pay-per-view called Rebellion, which was a UK WWE pay-per-view back in the
Yeah,
day.
WWE pay-per-view. Yeah, it's like
so
what are you gonna do?
In our fantasy world, I can take a word.
Yeah. I'm just being a dick. There you go. I'm just busting your balls. There you go.
You know what? I usually reserve this for Jordan, but guess what?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, does it, Richard?
Anyways, moving on to my first match.
That feels right.
Yeah, something to get the crowd hyped. We're gonna kick it off with a tag team match, and I just realized I have 3 tag team matches on my card. I think all 3 of them are pretty solid, and I think the opener is going to be really solid because not only are we going to get the crowd hyped with what I think is going to be a really good wrestling match, I think one of the teams involved is going to get the crowd into it with their promo, and that is the New Age Outlaws coming out and doing their New Age Outlaws thing. Crowd is into it, and they will be taking on the team of the Young Bucks. I thought this was an interesting blend of styles. Of course, I'm thinking, the Young Bucks of today, and not the old age Outlaws, but the New Age Outlaws back in their prime when they were, part of DX and all that. And yeah, give them 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 12. I think would be a good time for them, for all 4 to get involved and give them some time. And call me crazy. I'm giving the face team the win. I'm giving the New Age Outlaws the win over the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that is crazy. I wouldn't have done that, but it's fine. It's good. I think it'd be a good show. Yeah, I think it'd be a good match.
I want the crowd to be happy. The Young Bucks are the heels. The New Age Outlaws are the face. And it's the first show. You don't want to start off with a downer.
You have 3 hours to make them happy. I don't know, it's all good. In all seriousness, I think that's a good shout, good match. I think the build up could be fun. All 4 of these guys are decent on the mic, so yeah.
Yeah, there's one. This has never happened. The closest this came was at House of Hardcore in 2017. Billy Gunn and Tommy Dreamer fought the Young Bucks, but Road Dogg's never been in the ring with either one of them. This is an interesting match. Again, kind of different styles, but I think they would have a fun one. They put together a really fun opener.
Please tell me Billy Gunn and Tommy Dreamer didn't go over in that match.
They did not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that was in Australia, by the way. Richie, did you go?
I was in Brisbane. I might have been in Brisbane. I might have been there.
It was in New South Wales.
Oh, New South Wales. No, I wasn't there, but I do remember being on that. Yeah, being on when they were in town. So yes.
Should have went.
I did go to Brisbane, but I didn't go to New South Wales.
All right, Richie, your first match better be a banger, or I'm gonna tear it down so hard.
No pressure, all right? Well, well, if you're going to tear it down, I guess you just don't like women's wrestling. Okay, I'm just going to point that out. You're just like not a fan of women wrestling at all, because I'm going with the TNA's present versus TNA's past. My opener is Diana Perazzo versus Gail Kim. I think this could be. I think this could be a banger. I think Gail Kim is one of the more underrated women's wrestlers that we've had in the last 10, 20 years. I think she's amazing, and Diana is quickly emerging as one of the better women in wrestling today. And I think they could have a banger match to open the card. And I'm going to go with Diana Perazzo going over. But yes, she'll be the heel.
Wow.
And, yes, and yeah, she'll be the heel going forward. And then, I just think this would be a fun women's match opener. Yeah, shit on that, Jacob. Go on.
I mean, the wrong woman's going over, but whatever. No, that would be a good one. I wanted Gail Kim because there's 5 women on my roster that I think Gail Kim could have a fantastic match with, but you just got to her before me. That'll be a solid opener. Yeah.
Jordan doesn't mind when he went.
No, I
Jordan
think
Bailey
it's a good one. They've actually kind of, I feel like, teased it a little bit on television. Gail Kim's kind of like an authority figure now. I could see this even happening in the future. You know, Gail Kim's young enough to where she could definitely come back at any time, kind of like a Trish in the past. So yeah, it's a good match. It has never happened at all in any kind of capacity. So yeah, this would be a good one.
Yeah, I feel like
I would
Gail
have
Kim.
moved the face over, but it's fine.
You what? You would have what?
Maybe the face could go over, but yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay, but like the woman's, like you don't want to push the younger talent anyway. Like
fantasy world, they can all be young.
Yeah, I have half my roster's dead, so I mean, you can play around with ages here.
Fair enough, you got me there.
Don't put the dead guy over.
I don't know, like I don't know. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to say. I think I guess what I was saying is like people sort of, even though people obviously retire, I feel like that people that they're more convinced now to come out of retirement earlier than they in the past. Like there's a lot of I think coming out of retirement is kind of like it's more common now than maybe it was back then, even though people came out of retirement all the time. But yeah, so I could definitely see this happening. See, I got it out in the end.
I have to feign ignorance. I'm not as familiar with Miss Perazzo's work. I'm very familiar with Gail Kim, obviously, because I watched, her in WWE. But yeah, when you named her, I was not as familiar with her. And then I looked her up.
Fun fact, Pez. Wrestling
talented.
continued past 2010. I don't know if you know this.
I know,
but
I know, but not for me on the Lonely Marks podcast. So when you guys go back to currents.
Well, I mean. Maybe a more recent match I'll get you to check out. Like the crowd pretty dead, but it's a good match. Like she showed up in AEW and wrestled Mercedes Martinez, and that was solid. So
she was the champ for a while with the champ challenge.
Yeah,
she had the AAA and the Ring of Honor title, and she'd go, "All right, which one you want to fight for?" It was a cool gimmick.
Yeah, but then Tony Khan decided, we can't sign Diana, so we got to take the belt off you. Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do? Sounds good, man. I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the experience begin. Welcome to the EWE, the Eminent Wrestling Experience. Oh, what a name! I kept the show name simple, but yes, the Eminent Wrestling Experience, EWE. I figured this would be on a Saturday, so I booked it for this Saturday, 7 p.m. There's our Instagram and our Facebook and the website. None of those exist. Please don't check them out. I have no idea what those links go to. I should have checked. I hope it's not porn. But anywho, keep it up, though, Jacob, because we talked about my kickoff. But now we're going to the opening contest, ladies and gentlemen. For the television title, I give you Adam Cole, baby, taking on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Again, I use the recent photo of Dragon, but we're playing with ages, so I'm talking more like 87, 85 Dragon taking on, I'd say even current day Adam Cole, not maybe a couple years back, but I just think this would be a banger of an opener here, man. Reminiscent of some of the great matches. Adam Cole is your heel, and yeah, I'm putting the heel over. I made fun of Richie, but I'm going to put the heel over here because he's a likable heel, and I think he's got a little bit more of the character that I want to push going forward. I just think this is the epitome of an opener for me here, man. Two of the best, and a match that of course, we never got and never will get. So yeah, that's how I'm opening up the experience.
You could probably get it if you played WWE2K22.
I thought about doing that, man. Just doing all these matches on 2K and be like, play the footage.
They'll decide who goes over for you.
Yeah. Just let them go put it on.
Shoot, that's not who I wanted to win. Try again. No, this is a solid opener. I thought Adam Cole should have been the one to dethrone Adam Page in AEW. I thought they should have gone that way. I think he's extremely talented. He's one of my favorites right now. And yeah, you could have used that Ricky Steamboat, and I'm pretty sure they still would have put on a banger of a match. Because his match with Jericho, fantastic.
You know, like how you went like very like sort of more of a recent side of it.
Like when I
Okay,
picked like when I had Chris Jericho versus Ricky Steamboat on my
All right,
backlash
here's
thing
a
from their match,
little behind
and
the
that's
scenes.
like
Little behind
that's
the
like
scenes.
what they use for that.
Little behind the scenes. I used what photos I found the quickest. I was either that or shit with him in the IC title. It's not an IC title match, so I went with that. So again, don't play too much into what photo I use. I used what was quickest.
Like you couldn't use this from like when he was shredded
gotta
in like
swap it.
1988.
Hey,
You know what I
it's
mean?
the
Look at that
guy
when he
who
looked
doesn't
like
have a
Bruce
single
Lee
match card.
mixed with
Don't come to me.
JCVD.
La 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 la. You can't
Really?
complain.
Because
don't
it's
have a
funny. I
single
just
one.
searched Ricky Steamboat on Google. The
None of
third
those are
the third one
cropped.
down
None
is
of
right
those are
there.
cropped. That's not how it works. If you put that, then it's blocky. All these are cropped. Again, you don't know what you're talking about. Move on. Find me a PNG.
I should point out too.
I like how I put the most work into this, and you're still gonna bitch.
Oh no! If you're gonna do it, I'm gonna criticize what you pick. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna
'Cause I don't
criticize you
give-
not having a goddamn thing.
Alright.
I should point out. I forgot to say my name on my one. I haven't even checked if this is an actual wrestling thing, but my promotion's Gods of Wrestling. I had no idea it's an actual promotion. It might be.
You're gonna get picketed. It's blasphemy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gods of wrestling.
You
What
can
about
only be-
goddesses of wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah, way to be gender biased there too, Richie. You're also gonna get me too.
Mhm.
I
You
don't
can
think
only
half
be
the
gods
roster
of
showed
wrestling
up.
if you draft JBL.
Gods of no specific gender wrestling.
You know, there's a Greek goddess of wrestling, Palestra.
Okay.
That's interesting. Anyways, fun fact: when I googled gods of wrestling, there's a goddess of wrestling from Greek mythology. That's fun. All right. Anyways,
I mean, the first thing that pops up isn't JBL. That's a shame.
yeah. No, he's a
Moose
wrestling god, not a god of wrestling. There's a difference.
Moose called a wrestling god as well. I don't know if you consider Moose a wrestling god, but that's what he.
Mm.
All right.
Anyway, but good solid match, Jordan.
Yes, no, I would like to see that match. I actually think Ricky Steamboat could have a hell of a match with Adam Cole right now if you wanted to. I would still like to see that, even if they had a match, at like a WrestleCon or something. I'd still like to watch that even now. Yeah. So I'm down.
All right. Austin, what's your second match?
Well, I went with something where these particular tag teams have wrestled dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times, but it's because those guys always had great chemistry with each other. I have them on my roster, so why not have the Midnight Express face the Rock and Roll Express again for the umpteenth time? But you know why? Because I'm going to showcase them to the world on here, showcase them what old school tag team wrestling is all about. Specifically, my Midnight Express is Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, which was kind of one of my more favorite incarnations of them, sort of when they were in like the Crockett years. Versus obviously, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. And since I drafted Jim Cornette, he's obviously coming out with the Midnight Express, and they're doing their whole thing, with the music and all that, doing their thing. So have these guys go back and forth for about, 12, 13 minutes or so. And in this case, I will have my heels go over via, the usual Jim Cornette tennis racket shenanigans, as one would be, and get the crowd nice and pissed off at them to start. And, they can have their rematches down the line because who wouldn't want to see those guys wrestle all the time?
Who's
Because
in
they did.
the Midnight Express? Who was your Midnight again?
Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane.
He's looking up to see how many times they wrestled.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times Midnight and Rock and Roll have wrestled. That incarnation, I know, probably wrestled a couple of times at least. Probably had some Clash of the Champions or something like that. But they've wrestled any umpteenth amount of times. But it's a classic thing.
If they were in modern day WWE, they would have wrestled 40 times already in the space of 2 months.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
So if I look up Ricky Morton and Stan Lane, just those two, it's 2 pages on Cage Match, 177.
Yeah, right.
Some of them are singles, some of them are different partners, but Stan Lane and Morton have been in the ring a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just like the dynamic that Stan Lane brought, sort of with the a little bit more of the insecurities and the kicks and things, and and Bob Eaton just be kind of more the old school wrestler. I just
I
really
will
like
say,
that dynamic in the
you might be
Express.
surprised. What would you guess is the last time these two teams faced? What year?
I want to say like they might have had a match in like IWC in like 2011 or something. Like if it wasn't that long
You
ago.
went even sooner. They last clashed in
No.
the year 2008, brought to you by a High Spot Super Show.
Yeah. See, I mean, they were those guys were still. I have some, indie DVD from like the late 2000s where they were still having matches against each other, some incarnation of each one. But yeah, so I'll just have those guys go out and have a nice, fun, old school tag team match and do their thing. So yeah, why not?
How long are you giving it?
About 12 minutes, 12 minutes or so. Just enough to put some heat on Ricky Morton for a while, as what they would always do. Have him get the nice, hot tag. Gibson comes in, cleans house, get a couple of false finishes. Have Jim Cornette, tease, a thing or two, maybe even get knocked off the apron as he would, but still maybe grab. He used to do, a lot of things where Ricky Morton get whipped in the ropes. He would come behind with the racket, get the shot in, and then Midnight Express would take him out. So, something like that just to get the crowd kind of more fired up. Because I had a nice crowd-pleasing hot opener and get them all fired up, against the heels in the second match and keep them going. Midnight and Rock and Roll. I drafted them. Why the hell not? And then I can have them face some other teams later. Always reliable.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my screen's frozen, so I just wanted to make sure it was just that. So, all right. Moving on to my second match.
I love your imagination, by the way, though, Pez. Well, what a crazy combo you used.
Yeah,
really went all out.
What a dream match that we never had. What can I say? I'm a fan of anything Midnight and Rock.
What do you
Roll,
got,
so
Jacob? John Cena and Randy Orton? Did you go crazy too?
No, I
Johnny B. Bad and Diamond Dallas Page.
That's an obscure pull.
Chris Benoit versus Booker T. They never had any matches.
Johnny B. Bad and what, Richie? What random WCW feud did you pull out?
Oh, Johnny B. Bad. Yeah, DDP. They had like 8,000 matches in like 1996.
Okay, I was like, I vaguely remember that. That was such a hard
every
pull.
week.
Go watch any Nitro from 1996, and they had a mid-card match. Yeah, no, I know what he's talking about. When I was going back through the Monday Night Wars, oh my God, did they wrestle 900 times? Yeah, no, it's true.
No, I'm pretty sure my second match has never happened, and we're showcasing the women in the first of two women's matches, and that is AJ Lee going up against Lita. I think if they were given 8 to 10 minutes, I think they could put on a strong showing. I think AJ Lee was when she was in the company. I think she was one of the best. I loved her, and she can cut a good promo. And so can Lita. Lita's a decent talker herself. So I think the build up to this match could be decent. And yeah, just a solid women's match. Put it on second, give them time, and let them showcase their talent. I'm gonna go heel AJ here. Definitely heel AJ, and she's gonna get the victory over Lita.
Yeah, and yes, sir. These two have never touched. This is a completely fresh matchup here. I think they would actually mix together very well. So I think that this would be a really good one.
I think that there's sort of some. I don't know. Like they're both kind of kind of the extreme punky kind of chicks. I kind of think. I actually think they'd probably work. Like maybe back in the day, if they were in this sort of same era, they'd work well as a tag team as well. Like I think they'd mesh pretty well actually. So yeah, no, good, solid pick.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I was always a fan of Lita, as much as she was a little awkward sometimes in the ring, especially her earlier days. If you watch some of her matches from like 2001, she wasn't quite there yet. But then again, Trish wasn't either. It took him a couple of years to kind of, come around. But she always got pops, every time she, her energy and her charisma. And yeah, I think her and AJ, that's a good matchup. I think they could both go out there and just have a fun, quick little good match. So yeah, I like it.
I can see the finish. Lita goes for the moonsault or whatever. AJ scoots out of the way, locks you in the submission, Lita tries to get out, but just can't.
Mhm.
Ends up
Does
tapping.
she tap out or pass out?
Oh, she taps.
And
Yeah.
this might be a hot take, but Lita's moonsault, not great. It's fine.
No, and she used to squash girls pretty frequently on her moonsault. It was not very pretty. Yeah.
Like she wouldn't jump. She just sort of just pulls back.
Yeah, a Kurt Angle moonsault. It was not, Richie. Yeah, she did not get a lot of air. It was more like a throw yourself backwards. Yes. Yeah, but her Hurricanrana was always good. I mean, that Lita Conrana was always really, really solid. So especially if you had somebody who could take it really well. Yeah,
and she has a good DDT as well. She has a good DDT.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Richie, let's move on to your next match.
All right.
Jordan's getting ready to fact check.
No, I'm sure these two haven't wrestled together, but maybe they have. I have no idea. But again, I think these two will work well together. I'm going with Dean Malenko versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. This match could be spoken like a technical masterpiece. I think Dean Malenko will work really well with the Japanese, especially the Japanese guys we've got on my roster. And yeah, I think they'd have a banger of a match, and yeah, it'd be a good showcase for both men.
Yeah, if Dean Malenko can get the best match of the night with Scotty 2 Hotty, imagine what he can do with Tanahashi.
Yeah, I love this on paper, Richie. This is a cool one, man. This is definitely, if Tanahashi was around 10 years earlier, Malenko maybe 10 years later, maybe even 15 you might have to do. This definitely would have happened. This would have been great. So, yeah, it's a cool one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I always liked when, I was a big fan of especially like WCW Dean Malenko when he was having matches with, Mysterio or Ultimo Dragon or any of those guys. So, I mean, he always worked well with the international talent. So yeah, I'm sure he could have a hell of a 10-15 match with him and tear the house down. Yeah, I like it.
Anyone else getting drunk on Mountain Dew?
I've got Bing cherry cola, whatever, just something.
Bada bing.
Good old Bud.
Good old Bud.
US of A.
USA. Bring up my match graphic, Jacob.
You haven't changed it.
I will once you get to it because I'm gonna do a dramatic do it dramatically. All right, we just got done with a wonderful TV title match. Adam Cole's holding the title high. Now we're gonna kick things up a notch as far as Extreme Falls Count Anywhere match with Jake the Snake Roberts taking on my cousin Kevin Owens. I think the promos leading up to this, if we got a weekly show, I've got some juicy ass promos leading up to this, man. These two getting into each other's heads, mind games. This would be just a really fun feud. They don't have to go too crazy. I got another match that's going to be kind of extreme later on, but they can do some brawling around the arena. I think these two would have some fun chemistry. This would be something fans would be, I think, excited to see. And at the end of the day, got to keep it in the fam. Kevin Owens for the W.
Whoa, shocker.
Shut up.
No, I totally agree with you on the promos, and then just the match would be extremely solid. I think Falls Count Anywhere. I think that really gives these two freedom to kind of go out and just put on a show. So yeah, I would be down for this.
Yeah, just for the promos alone, I would watch that, and then the match would be solid. But yeah, like the build up, like I feel like it's sort of written, it's right there for you. Like I think you just let them be their character. Don't sort of and just let them flourish. I think, and I think they can create gold. So a good solid match.
Just don't let it be one of those match. Just don't let it be one of those matches where the build-up is better than the actual match.
I mean, with these
AJ
promos, it might be slightly, but the match won't disappoint either.
Mhm.
Like you mean like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you watch their WWE and you're at match and you're just like, man, I should just go watch him back in New Japan again because that was disappointing. And you just go online and pull up the New Japan match and you think of better things. Yeah, definitely. All right.
All right, Austin, what's your third match?
As far as I can tell, this match has not happened yet, but I feel like it still could at some point, even currently. But yeah, I'm going to go with my my actual IC title matchup and crown my first IC champ. And yeah, this would be just on paper a hell of a strong style Japanese style match. I'm going to have Tomohiro Ishii versus Low-Ki. Just go in there and beat the shit out of each other for like 10 minutes. I think it'd be a hell of a match. It's still both guys, obviously like to hit hard and stuff, but it'd be a nice clash of styles. I could see Low-Ki kind of doing a stick and move sort of thing, leg kicks, quick chest kicks, doing his thing. Ishii trying to get a hold of him. And obviously at some point, wrapping him up and headbutting the crap out of him and laying it to him. But I think they could do a great spot if Low-Ki's throwing his kicks and maybe kicks him in the gut and Ishii kind of bends over a little bit. Maybe Low-Ki goes for some kind of head kick and sells his leg and hurts himself trying to kick Ishii in the head. And Ishii just no selling any kind of head kicks. And just that's where the match kind of turns. But yeah, as far as I can tell, these guys have not clashed yet. I feel like it's a match that people on the internet talk about like why haven't these guys gone at it yet, but yeah, they will on my card, and I'll have Low-Ki go over just because Ishii's not gonna hurt himself by not going over in this one. Like he's always a good dude to get over. But yeah, 10 minutes, just have those guys just throw down and have a lot of fun and get the crowd into it. So yeah, Low-Ki goes over versus Ishii.
They've only faced each other in tag team matches twice in 2004. Trading wins. Low-Ki teamed with Brian Kendrick, defeating Ishii and Jack Bull. And later on, Ishii got the win back with Sasito Takaiwa. They've been on the same team in 2008 in multiple tag matches. But one-on-ones never happened. It'd be a good one. Like you said, basically let them go out there and beat the crap out of each other. Low-Ki a little bit quicker. Ishii with a bigger power move. It'd be a good one.
Yeah.
These dudes' chests will look like a fucking stop sign. Just
Oh yeah. Well, wait till you see a match I've got later where the two chests will look like straight raw hamburger meat afterwards. You'll see when I announce the matchup. But yeah, this one would be these two guys would. I don't want them to go out there for like 20 or 30 minutes necessarily, but I think a good like 10 to 12 minutes of them just trading shots back and forth. Maybe a brain buster or two. A couple of combo kicks. Just some good stuff just to get the crowd rocking and show what they can do. I think would be a lot of fun. So a nice third matchup and a nice contrast from Midnight and Rock and Roll. To have a more modern one come out and have a nice Japanese sort of strong style match. So yeah, that's my third match.
Nice, I like it. My third match is the match I think could steal the show. So why I put it third? Because I had a hard time ordering things around. A fatal 4-way elimination match, and the winner will become the number one contender for what I'm calling the NWP Pacific Championship. Because we're next to the Pacific Ocean, so why not? And in the match will be Owen Hart, William Regal, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Finn Balor. And I think give them a solid 20 minutes. No quick eliminations. I think the first elimination is going to happen somewhere around 10 minutes, and that will be unfortunately Mr. William Regal. He will be out first. Sorry, Regal. Then we're down to Nakamura, Balor, and Owen Hart, and this is where a couple more minutes go by. Shinsuke Nakamura is out of here, and we're down to Finn Balor and Owen Hart. Let them go at it for another 8 to 10 minutes before Finn Balor gets the victory and is the new number one contender. I like all four of these guys. I think they're exciting in the ring. Even William Regal, he's not flashy, but he's damn good in the ring. I like the styles, and yeah, I think they could steal the show.
No, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. You can't go wrong with all four of those guys. Yeah, I definitely agree with Finn Balor going over. I think that could set it nicely. Yeah, no, solid multi-man. You'll see that. Yeah, I've used multi-man a lot in my own. So yeah, no, I'm a big proponent for multi-man matches like the early. The 2005 to 2008 like TNA where everything was a multi-man match, or any exhibition match. So yeah, no, I would definitely want to see this.
I definitely think Owen Hart and Finn Balor could have had a hell of a match. Like had those two guys ever cross paths, like their styles would have been a nice clash. And I would have liked to have seen that.
Which is why they're the final two.
Do you envision? Do you envision that it'll lead to a program, just a singles program between the two at later, like between Finn Balor and Owen Hart?
Possibly. I mean, Finn Balor is the number one contender for a championship right now.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got that to worry about. But,
go back to it. Yeah.
Who knows? And then I wouldn't even mind seeing Shinsuke and Regal in a.
That'd be right.
One program either.
Yeah, that's the thing I liked about it is there's a lot of combinations there that I think would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, really, we got none of the except for I guess we could have Balor and Shinsuke, but otherwise, all those combos are pretty interesting. From Owen and Finn, Owen and Shinsuke, I think is a really interesting combination. So, yeah, that'd be a cool one.
You could tell a good story with Regal and Shinsuke because I know this. The person that got Shinsuke signed to WWE was William Regal.
Yeah. Speaking of William Regal, who else just loved him absolutely knocking out Jericho?
he just punched him right in the face. Yeah, that was a good moment.
And the great thing is, it's on the floor with the Jericho Appreciation Society around him, and they just don't do anything. Like, they don't stop him, nothing. They're like, all right, we'll just let Regal.
Well, that's the power of the punch. They're not inhumane. I mean,
yeah, I think it would have been a little if he had the brass knucks. That would have been made it. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, or if he punched Jericho and then like maybe the other guys like start to approach him and he pulls out the brass knucks, from his waistband, you know what I mean, and puts them on real quick and then holds it up like nice for the camera and they don't go for it like that. That'd be a hell of a little tease, a little throwback. I like it.
Well, because they're leaning towards like a War Games match, you just know they're going to get William Regal to go blood and guts.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I wonder because it's 6-on-5. I wonder which one of the six has to be.
Well, Wheeler Yuta has got some dates in Japan because he's doing a Super Juniors, so he probably won't be in it. So yeah.
All right, but enough of that. We're getting off topic. Richie, what's your next match?
All right, cool. All right, so me. All right. I'm going to do my tag title match, my first sort of multi-verse match. And that is Beer Money versus the Dudleys versus the Steiners. And I also, course correction from before, I forgot to tell who's going over between Dean Malenko and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I will have Tanahashi go over on that one. But anyway, I just think I think these teams will work well together. I envision that like Beer Money will be the heels, I'm gonna have them go over because I think as much as the Dudley Boys are, great as champions, I could sort of envision them. I envision them like chasing the belts, same as Steiners down the line. I kind of want to save a Steiner victory for like a maybe if I like bring up I develop like a sort of a WrestleMania type thing. That's why I have Steiners win. But yeah, at the moment, I have Beer Money being the heels and winning the titles. But yeah, I think these three teams could work well together. And yeah, I think it'll be fun, especially when you got Steiners and Dudleys in there, and they can just beat the shit out of each other. So yeah, that's my match.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember we got I think Dudleys and Steiners at one point, but man, if you put them in their prime, oh, that would have been great, and you just added a good trifecta there. So yeah, this will be a fun one.
Mhm.
I'm in for it. Yeah, 3. In any combination too. I'm down for. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very solid.
Yeah.
All right. What's your next graphic, Jordan? What do you got?
Oh, Jacob's got to pull it up.
Hey.
All right, we're gonna go from Falls Count Anywhere to we are now gonna go to my tag team division. I wonder who could it be? Who? Well, it's the New Day taking on Edge and Christian in a tag team extravaganza.
What?
We were kind of teased by this a couple years back. And I just again I think the promos, if you do like Edge and Christian as snarky heels, against the New Day faces, again I feel like the build up to this could be really fun. The match would be really fun here. You got Kofi that can keep up with Edge and Christian. You got Big E, the power guy. I just think this again. This is one that I think very much just like Jake and Kevin, I think would be great build up, as well as I think the match would deliver as well and have a real banger of a tag team match here. And this is not even my tag title match. This is just my first of 2 big old tag team matches here. And so I'm going to go with ENC pick up the W.
I want to see the promos where ENC bust out the kazoos and make fun of the New Days, like, dun, dun, dun. You know what I mean? Like, just making fun of them backstage.
It's happening.
Yeah. And in the middle of the match, doing the little Biggie, little like shimmy or whatever, like you could see them just doing those like heel spots and just messing with them. Yeah, I think they'd have really good chemistry.
Yeah, I'm almost annoyed that we're not gonna. We can't get this match probably, but I think
the only bad thing about Christian going to AEW is that we were taking away the
that match could have happened. Yeah, when we came back for the Rumble, like I feel like they could have done that at some point. And they just they never did.
But yeah,
they never, guys.
Yeah, I feel like New Day are like the sort of they definitely feel like they definitely feels like they take some inspiration from Edge and Christian, but the whole like these 2 teams like sort of with their sense of humor sort of made kind of being like goofy heels, a bit goofy face really work for them, work to their advantage. And I think the promos will be amazing. It could be great, and then the build up could be great, and so that's just something.
Yeah, I didn't even know this, but I guess it shows you how long Kofi's been around. Kofi and Edge did wrestle one-on-one matches twice back in 2009 for both SmackDown and Superstars.
Okay, what's Edge doing on Superstars at that time?
Don't forget when Superstars and Main Event first came back. They treated them like big shows, like the first couple months.
Yeah, wasn't the first main event of the new main event Sheamus and CM Punk?
That sounds right. And even Superstars, when Superstars first came back, it was Jericho and Taker, and you know what I mean. Like they treated it like it was supposed to be that next big show, and then 6 months in, it's Primo versus Tyson Kidd in your main event. No offense to Primo and Tyson Kidd.
No, Tyson Kidd is solid.
So is Primo. Don't be shit on Primo.
No, I totally agree. If you have Edge and Christian and the New Day on your roster, why would you not pair them up? That's like a no-brainer there. So,
all right.
Hi, Austin.
Yeah, well, Jacob, you just had a fatal 4-way. Only mine's going to be non-elimination, just first fall to a finish. But this is where my main roster of ladies will have a 4-way just to determine my first champion. Awesome Kong versus Jazz versus Victoria versus Bull Nakano. I think you go out there and give them like 8 to 10 minutes and just let them just go nuts. Have Awesome Kong just power bombing people over the place. Bull Nakano throwing suplexes all throwing Jazz and Victoria all over the place with suplexes. That can be a lot of fun. And obviously just throughout the match tease Kong and Bull kind of going face to face, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe I just tease that for later. Maybe they kind of tease sort of throwing down, but don't quite do it. And then have Jazz and Victoria have to force them to kind of team up to overcome the bigger ladies. In the end, I'll have Awesome Kong just maybe just powerbomb Victoria to death and go over, and she'll be my first champion for the smaller people to kind of chase and eventually build up to. Kong goes over and just let the ladies go out there for about 8 to 10 and just have some nice spots and just have a lot of fun and showcase what they can do. So yeah, I really like that.
I mean, the idea of like Awesome Kong and Bull Nakano being in the ring and just beating the shit out of each other.
Right.
It intrigues me greatly, and I hope that in your promotion eventually you build a singles feud between them, because that'd be big.
That's what I think. I think in this match I'll tease them kind of facing off. Maybe they dump Jazz and Victoria at some point and maybe start to or slap each other a little bit, but like then it gets interrupted by maybe Jazz and Victoria have to team up and kind of go on the attack, but like it never happens. But yeah, eventually build up to a Bull Kong type of thing. So yeah,
you're gonna have fans though online going, I paid $49.95 and they didn't even really do a Kong and Nakano. Bullshit.
Yeah.
-5 stars.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why that's why I'm the booker and they're not. So shut the fuck up, people on the internet. I mean, there's a plan.
On your roster, you definitely have women. You definitely have women on your roster that who I can envision would legit beat the shit out of a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I mean, it's one of those things where I think if Bull Nakano, grabs hold of Victoria for a suplex, it's like she's just going for the ride at that point. It's just like however she's gonna dump her, she's gonna dump her. It's gonna be what it is. But yeah, even then, like you could have any combination of those other three, having matches to build up to Kong, that sort of thing. Jazz and Bull, Victoria, well, even Victoria and Jazz, who I know had matches, had good solid matches, on Raws and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So just go out there and showcase them to start and then break it down from there.
Nice. All right. Mm-hmm. Before we get to my next match, I forgot to mention that yes, Pat McAfee still went crazy during Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance in the previous match. That is still a thing.
I forgot to say, did we reemphasize who all of our commentary team was for our thing? I don't think we started with that.
Go ahead and do that real quick.
No. I had we'll each go. I had Joey Styles and Cyrus from ECW. I always thought they had really good chemistry. So yeah, I ended up drafting those guys. You had Pat McAfee and who?
I have Pat McAfee, Tony Schiavone, and Vince McMahon himself.
Gotcha. And Richie.
And I also have a 3-man booth with Bobby Heenan, JR, and Josh Barnett.
I got Paul Heyman and Mike Tenay talking over at my show.
Yeah.
I would low key, like, I think that's a great commentary team. Like those two, I would have loved to have seen that. But anyway,
you want low key on your commentary team? You might be right.
Yeah.
You got
look at him go. He's really hitting him there. He actually talks like that backstage, even though it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to do so, Richie. I've heard him talk backstage at a Full Impact Pro show. He once ran down Eric Stevens for being a little shit, and it was really funny and almost made him cry. Because Eric Stevens went off one time on somebody like for blowing a spot. And this is like back in like 2004 before Eric Stevens was even like really a thing, in Florida, at least for a little while. And Loki just went up to him and went, "Who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up." And just kind of like put him in his place and almost made him cry. And it was funny. So yeah, just a Loki story. A Loki story, Waka Waka. But anyways. So all right.
My next match, we're jumping back into tag team action, and this match is going to see Sting and Darby Allin taking on the team of Cody Rhodes and Goldust. I think you got a good blend of styles. I think Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes could put on a decent match together. I think Sting and Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, I think those two could. I don't know if they've done it in WCW. I'm sure Jordan's looking it up. Um,
I'm curious.
I feel like they should have, like, the natural Dustin Rhodes and Sting maybe at some point should have had a match. I don't know if they did. Yeah,
They've been in the business around the same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
time.
obviously, this is Goldust. So, and Cody Rhodes and Goldust. This is like when they were in the WWE that era, like when they were tag team champions and
Before
current
Cody
day,
went.
Darby Allin. I think this would just be an entertaining match. Give them 10 to 12 minutes. Let them go out there. Darby, typical, gets the crap kicked out of him for a decent amount of time. Cody Rhodes and Goldust tagging in and out before he gets the hot tag to Sting. Sting goes in and chaos ensues. They dump it to the outside.
Do you have him jump off any balconies? Do you have Sting jumping up any balcony?
Whoa. No. I'm not in the business of almost killing my talent because they're 63 years old and they don't need to do that. He's not that old right now.
Hey, to be fair, most of Sting's dives that he's done has been some of the most safe stuff on Dynamite. He's jumping just doing a straight jump into 5 dudes and just catching him perfectly. It's actually one of the safer things, on the show right now. To be fair, because a lot of these guys, when they do these dives where they're doing flippies and all kind, and these guys kind of get scared sometimes, like they're going to get kicked in the face. But Sting is literally just doing, cross bodies off the thing and having 5 dudes catch him. It's actually fairly safe. It's one of the safest things ever. He gets popped because he's just doing it.
Darby Allin, Jeff Hardy, it's not. Holy shit.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So the history of Sting and Dustin Rhodes from 1991 to 1995. They teamed a lot of times, even just by themselves, if not in 6-mans or 4-mans, but never against each other. These two have never touched as far as actually against each other. They teamed a lot, including at War Games '93 on the same team.
Yeah, that's the Sting, Cactus Jack, and Dustin Rhodes versus Vader and those guys. And
I think '93 is British Bulldog and Shockmaster, Sting and Rhodes.
I see. Okay.
Oh, the good old shock.
There's a Clash of the Champions match where it's Sting, Cactus Jack, and Dustin Rhodes versus Vader, Barry Windham, and Paul Orndorff. So it's kind of similar. They have a cage thing. But yeah, it's weird that they've never actually faced each other. You thought they would have crossed paths at some point, even for
yes, Clash of the Champions, tag team. January of '93 in the Thunder Cage.
The Thunder Cage. Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, chaos has ensued. They dump to the outside.
Anyway, back to the chaos.
Sting and Darby Allin get Cody Rhodes on the announce table, and of course Darby's going to try to cough and drop off the top rope, but Goldust gets back involved, saves Cody. Darby goes to the table, double team on Sting. Boom, finish. The Rhodes are going over. And Goldust gets the pin because Goldust deserves a win on pay-per-view.
All right. Cool. I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like if Cody had stuck around, this match might have happened at some point. you know, or
it's kind of it's one of my what if matches.
Yeah. All right, Richie, what do you got for your fourth match? Yeah.
Fourth match. I'm going for my women's title match. Two sort of legends of the game right now. Going to go Mickie James versus Charlotte Flair. I think they could have a really great match. I'm pretty sure they've wrestled a couple of times. I don't know if one-on-one they have, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have. But yeah, I think that this could be solid. I think the two of the best women in wrestling, 2 future Hall of Famers. But I know Charlotte always goes over, but I think she should work better in this instance as chasing for the title. So what the fuck was that?
Oh, sorry. I was supposed to. Apparently, they had a 205 live match in 2021.
Okay, I was just like, I just heard noise.
Yeah, sorry. It was just that I needed to turn down my volume on the thing. My bad.
That's not good. Yeah.
No, they didn't. They did not. Sorry, that's a video game match. Stupid, but they used to screenshot
it. Well, the sentence you just said made no sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Mickie James go over because I think Charlotte would be good at chasing. And I'm gonna, even if Charlotte's good heel, I'm gonna make her a ready face and Mickie heel. So that's
No, interesting enough, these two, I would have guaranteed they did because Mickey James had that return for a couple years. Never
Yeah.
touched in 3 Rumbles, 19, 21, and 22. So I don't know if they touched there, but yeah, not any tags, not anything. These two have never been in a match, so that's quite interesting. But great match. I'm sure it will be a great match. I actually, to be honest with you, I think I even thought about booking this match myself. I feel like this was on my mind if I had drafted these two. So yeah, great one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say what you want about Charlotte's booking. She delivers in the ring. So
yeah, like I mean, if Charlotte sucks, she wouldn't be booked that way. She's
No,
good.
I mean the argument I've always made, man, because I do agree with some fans. Is she great? Yes. Is she worthy of the main event? A lot. Yeah. It's just not always, and I just feel like it's always with her. You know what I mean? If she's around at Mania, she's in a Mania title match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think they shoehorn her and stuff. Like it's like she was like obviously the last. It was meant to be just be Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania, and she was just shoehorned in there. But I feel like the match is pretty better for it because Ronda's still green. But yeah, like she is sort of shoehorned in there sometimes. I do feel, but she's reliable. I guess she's reliable, and yeah. Interesting to see where the women's division goes because I think she's taking time off to marry Andrade. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
wait, you mean she's not really injured?
Yeah, no.
What? I feel lied to.
I know.
No, solid women's match. Jordan, I'm gonna pull it up. Where are we going next?
Pull it up. So we got a tag team match, and we're gonna have another match that again I thought maybe happened at some point. Only happened once in 2007 over in England, and that was 2007 before I think Pac really even got his footing. This is Nigel McGuinness versus Pac, former Ring of Honor World Champion. Pac currently with AEW, killing it. Did some great cruiserweight title matches in the WWE that were undersung. Yeah, I just think these two would have a great match. Nigel really knows how to pick it up to that next level when he needs to. If you ever seen the classics he's had with Bryan Danielson over in Ring of Honor, I was even trying to finding his footing over in Impact before he had to unfortunately retire. This is a guy that I think would have been a world champion in Impact a year or two later if things were different. But yeah, I think these two. This is a dream match. This match would have headlined Ring of Honor if the timing had worked out.
They also Impact could have also let them be Nigel McGuinness and not Desmond Wolfe.
Hey man, a name's a name, man. He started wrestling Kurt Angle when he first came out. Like
yeah,
it is what it
match
is.
is really good. That match is really good.
Oh, also I made this. I forgot. I made this a 2 out of 3 falls match, and the win to Nigel. By the way, they're even 1 fall each, and then finally Nigel gets that 3rd win or 2nd
All right.
for him.
No, I think this will be solid. This will be a really solid match. I'd love to see it. I might try to. I mean, it might be really hard to find if I don't know for this film, but I'd try to hunt down the.
Oh, I just searched Nigel McGuinness versus Pac, and like on videos, it's on YouTube. It was the first thing to come up. It's from the King of Europe Cup 2007, 17 minutes.
I might watch
So
that.
yeah, it's very very easy to find, I guess. So I mean, if I was that promotion, I would have uploaded that as well. Especially if now with those guys, being as prolific as they are. So, and no, that's not a video game match; it's a real match. Yeah, no, they are real people and they're about to wrestle. But yeah, that's prime Nigel McGuinness in 2007, and yeah, kind of Pac when he was early Pac. I mean, I remember him popping up a lot in like PWG and stuff, having matches with like El Generico and those guys, having really good stuff. Before he was like gruff, bearded, Pac that he is, longer hair than he is now, more sort of baby face, literal baby face Pac. But those guys could have a good match. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, put Pac in the ring with anyone, and I guarantee it'll be decent at worst.
Mm-hmm.
And same could be said for Nigel, man. This dude was getting so damn good towards the end. Like WWE was looking at him, but he had injuries, and Impact picked him up. Like this dude was really good.
Yeah. All right, solid. I believe we're on match number 5.
Yeah. So it's a match that could main event any other day, but only because my card is so stacked. But it's not unprecedented to have one of these guys in more of a mid card thing. If you think about WrestleMania 17, I have Triple H versus Okada. Going 15 minutes right in the middle of the card, going right after the ladies, showcasing Okada, maybe to some people who don't know who he is. But I think in their primes, if you think about Okada, like right now, obviously, versus like 2001, 2002 Triple H, could have been a hell of a match. I think those guys would go out and absolutely just tear it down. Triple H just selling the shit out of Okada stuff. I sort of envision I'd have Okada go over. Maybe sort of a scenario where Triple H goes to hit the pedigree, Okada sort of hammer lock, rolls through out of it, and then rip cords him into the Rainmaker. I think it'd be a nice little finish, but give these guys like a good just 12 to 15. Let Triple H do what he does best. He's a great technician, but have Okada, bust out some really cool stuff. I just thought it'd be a cool match to kind of showcase both guys. And again, you think of Triple H as more of a main event guy, but on something like where the card is stacked, like a WrestleMania 17, if you remember, he fought Undertaker and they were like 5th or 6th match out, you know what I mean? Because that card was so stacked. So it's not unprecedented. He wasn't always like a guaranteed main event guy, but yeah, he would definitely work. I think work well with Okada. So Triple H and Okada, number 5.
Yeah, I think some of Triple H's best, at least WrestleMania matches, were those matches where he was in the middle of the card and not necessarily the main event. So, no, I think this is a good spot for him, and I totally agree with you.
Except for Triple H and first Batista.
Oh, right. Yeah, and it's weird when you watch. Yeah, it's weird when you watch like WrestleMania 18 and he was still in the main event against Chris Jericho after Rock and Hogan.
That placement was terrible because the crowd were fucking dead.
Just dead. Yeah, I mean, I know they were like, it was like the undisputed title era, but it's like you should have just thought about the star power and just let Rock and Hogan go out there.
I think they were truly taken aback. Hogan was the heel. I think they truly were like, oh shit,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
these people want
just kind of backfired on them. Yeah.
I was gonna say Triple H and Ultimate Warrior, Mania '96, but
yeah. Mm-hmm. And he muted himself.
You muted yourself this time, Jordan.
Not that we would ever get it before, but it's a great dream match that we'll sadly never get now with Triple H's retirement. But this would be a cool one to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I couldn't think of anyone sort of. There's only There's only a few people that would be so legit, like that it would actually that would help really establish Okada, and like Triple H is at the top of that list. So.
And both these guys could have matches with other people on my card later. You know what I mean? Like Okada could have any number of matches with people later on my roster. So and they would all be fun. So good showcase. Triple H shot. And because I'm booking, I have Okada go over. Sorry, Triple H. You don't get to just hit your move and kill the guy immediately. So Okada's going over on my card.
So this is not like 2005 Triple H where he was going over everybody,
just destroying everybody. And I swear, think about this, if he had not gotten hurt, remember how he got hurt right before the invasion? I swear to God, if he was around during invasion, he would have just pedigreed every WCW guy to death and just killed every single one of their momentums. Just he would have run through that entire roster week by week and just hit his move on everybody and just tore it out.
It would have, like the WCW guys looked bad in general, so like that would have been so much better.
Yeah, I know. I can only imagine.
Would have squashed DDP. Would have squashed
everybody. I like that. Not that they didn't squash DDP immediately, anyways, but yeah, like it just, he would have just run through every single guy on that roster week by week. But yeah, Okada will go over in my scenario. So yes.
Yeah. All right. My next match is an open challenge match because John Cena has been trying to get a match on this card, and he just hasn't been able to. Everyone else is busy except for one guy. So he comes out, he cuts a promo. This is like U.S. title open challenge era John Cena, where he was just having bangers with pretty much anyone who answers the open challenges. And so he challenges anyone in the back. And who answers the challenge Mr. Perfect.
Mm.
So we got John Cena versus Mr. Perfect. And, give him 10, 15 minutes. And John Cena does not go over. Mr. Perfect gets the win. And of course, Pat McAfee goes absolutely crazy when Mr. Perfect's music hits, because that's just the kind of commentator Pat McAfee is. And Vince McMahon says, "What a maneuver," 18 times in this match.
What are 6 maneuvers from John Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I like the match. I think the match it would be cool to see. I've never been a huge fan of open challenges, or especially within the context of like, oh, I can't find a match for WrestleMania. It's like, dude, just like they did it with Seth Rollins this year. It's like, dude, just literally you can just interrupt you can just literally interrupt somebody or attack them, and then there's your match. Like you know how this works. But when it comes to WrestleMania, I don't know how to get a match. Like, yes, you do. So I'm not.
Well, see, you heard me. He's been asking. He's been trying. No one wants to face him.
Yeah.
So he's like, fine. I'm just going to hijack the show.
Yeah. I don't know. But like I like the match though, and I like that Mr. Perfect is going over. So the match would be cool.
And I feel like they could have had a match, because remember Mr. Perfect came back in 2002, for a little while, and then in that summer of 2002, Cena had the Ruthless Aggression debut. And I feel like they almost had Mr. Perfect not passed away. Obviously, they might have actually crossed paths around that time. So it's very, very, very possible.
It's not just because of that. He got fired a few months into his run because of that plane ride from hell thing. So
yeah, right.
and then he went to TNA, and then he passed away. But it definitely it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that it could have happened. I think maybe Mr. Perfect. I think Mr. Perfect was going to be using that role anyway. He wasn't like being heavily featured on the card prior to being released. I think he was just the guy that pushed people over. So I could imagine he would have worked with John Cena.
Yeah, it's unique timing actually. Just looking it up. So Perfect is released in May of 2002, and literally Ruthless Aggression debut Cena Smacks Angle is June 2002. So that plane ride hadn't happened, that window would have been open. I think they would have been on separate brands, but again, give it 6 months to a year, it could have happened. But they never did touch. It just that window just did not gap.
Hey, there is footage of Perfect plexing and pinning Brock Lesnar in a dark match. Just remember, that's on the internet.
Well,
you can go look
you
that
look up early Brock. He lost to Crash Holly on a dark match too. Like before they knew he'd be the unstoppable Brock. He's jobbing a Crash and Perfect.
Also, if you look at Brock Lesnar on Metal, you can see him do an actual non-botched shooting star press.
There's footage of those from OVW. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pressure got to him, Richie. He just didn't rotate enough on that WrestleMania one. He just tried to go too damn far. Kurt Angle was like 3/4 of the way across the ring. It's like if he'd been a little closer, it's like he would have had to leap out so much. He could have just leapt up. I don't know.
Yeah. I love how you can tell Kurt Angle doesn't move at all, and Michael Cole is still like, "Oh, Kurt Angle rolled out of the way. He missed it." No, he just didn't get far enough.
You kind of. I guess you have to say something.
No, he just damn near died. In the middle of the ring.
Yeah. Like you might want to check that he's alive. He landed right on his head.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite main events, by the way.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a good match.
Love it. Unfortunately, Lesnar does not face Angle on this card. You'll find that one out later. Richie, what's next?
All right, man. I've got a bang a 5-way for the number contender spot for the Gods of Wrestling Championship, and I think this match would be really good by really great wrestlers. I've got Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano versus Will Ospreay. I think this match would be wild. I think all 5 of these wrestlers are phenomenal. I will have. I'm gonna have Kenny Omega go over here, but yeah, but just because I think he sort of the biggest star I can build around. But like this, I think that this match will be a banger. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than that. I just think it'd be a really really solid multi-man match.
I have one question. Who does the dive on the other 4 outside the ring? Because you know that's a spot in every one of these matches.
I'm gonna.
I gotta know.
Will Ospreay does a dive. I was that.
All right. I can dig it. No, I mean that those are 5 talented guys. You give them enough time, and they're gonna tear the house down. That could be your show stealer.
Yeah.
It's a great match.
What do you think, Kitty?
Kitty's a fan, but he thinks Alexander should go over, doesn't he? Yes, he does.
No, Kitty, this is my dream card.
Omega's overrated.
Kenny Olivier is overrated.
Hey, well, you wonder why I'm a dog person,
Yeah, because cats say things like that.
Yeah.
No, solid match. What do you have any thoughts, Jordan, before we move on to your next one?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think it'd be good. I think, like you said, Ospreay can do a lot of fun stuff. I think some exchange between him and Omega it's I think a dream match that we got to see sooner or later. So, yeah, I think some of those combinations would be really fun.
Good. All right. Yeah.
Oh, me. So
just awkward silence. That's what we
go
want.
from a great technical masterpiece to things are about to get bloody. Things are about to get
extreme,
rowdy. It's a dog collar match with Jon Moxley and Roddy Piper. Oh boy, Piper! I think when you think of dog collar, to me, I think of Piper because of the one he had with Valentine. That just showed you the length of this match can go. We were reminded recently with Punk and MJF, even Cody and Brody a couple years back. Again, I think the feud between these two could be a great build-up. The promos, again, these two be willing to do anything here. Piper a little bit more towards the heel side, but Moxley's not your average face either. This could be a bloody, violent affair to remember. And I got to give the W to the Hot Rod.
Okay.
I honestly, I love the idea of the match. That's amazing. I want to see this match. The promos would be amazing. Both these guys can talk. I think Moxley is sort of underrated as a talker. I don't feel that people talk about it, but he's really good as a talker. And I think the build of this match is going to be good. And it'll be a great fight. I don't know. Look, I'm controversial a bit, having Roddy Piper go over, in my opinion. But I think I want to see this.
So, future storytelling. This brings Moxley to go over the edge, and he's like he wanted that win so badly, and now he's gonna be even more unhinged.
Yeah.
I when you brought that up, I remember. Yeah, the one you referenced. I remember seeing that Piper Valentine match on some DVD of just like bloodiest feuds of the '80s or something, whatever, one of those random like WWE compilations. And yeah, those two guys beat the shit out of each other in that match, just immensely. And yeah, I remember that. I was always a fan of the Hammer, but yeah, and they just had an absolute bloodbath. Yeah, you could just see these guys both just bleeding all over the place, so much that they'd have to change the damn. I hope you got something in between, because you're gonna have to change the damn canvas out in between that.
This is where we have a nice like interlude. This is where Pitbull comes out and sings a song, or
you gonna have Pitbull in your show.
No, I'm just saying. This is the moment where you would do that, or maybe you have like a Hall of Fame introduction right now. This is you need a little bit of a break here, a little backstage skit with DiBiase and IRS. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
A Hall of Fame ceremony at your very first show.
Okay, fine. I'm not doing fine. Pitbull. I'm just saying this is that moment where like Pez said, We're gonna have to take a breather, maybe fix that canvas.
I couldn't
Maybe
imagine
like
anything
people
more
go
dark.
back to the pre-show panel and have them recap the first 5 matches.
Yeah, you can have Maria
Mhm.
Menounos backstage with Moxley. You can cut a promo. I fucking wanted to win. Whatever.
That
I
I
couldn't-
like that actually. Like that.
See?
Yeah,
There's things
that,
you can
that's
do.
what you need to do right there. That
Things you can do.
I couldn't imagine something more narcissistic than having a Hall of Fame induction in your very first show. Like these guys are going to be great. The wave of the crowd's like,
Well, and then you have to have a 2-night show and have them do it again the next night, back to back, and do the same introduction the next
First
night.
inductee is me. Second inductee is Adam Cole because he was the first ever
Yeah.
TV champion. Third inductee is Mike Tenay. He's like, what? Really? Already? Whatever.
Wait, it's been 2 hours.
I'll take it. I'm not gonna say no.
Yes, is there a ring?
I mean, all jokes aside, Mike Tenay should be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't feel.
Mhm.
No, he'll never go in. Oh, he might go in the Impact Hall of Fame. He should there. Yeah.
He should go in the Impact.
Yeah. Mhm.
Hey, if non-WWE guys can make it to the WWE Hall of Fame, I can too.
Mhm.
I don't know. Down the line, maybe they'll start including TNA guys. But I'm just saying, like now they are the gatekeeper of like WCW and ECW, so that makes sense. Or like even
Yeah.
older than that. I'm just saying, I don't think they if you guys to gone to like TNA staples, like Wildcat Chris Harris is not going to get inducted.
Brandon Walker.
Oh no! But I think Mike Tenay has a shot. But
But do you see them inducting like Joey Styles? I don't.
Oh, I do.
I mean, I want them to. I just don't know if they would do it.
yeah, the next time WrestleMania is in Philadelphia, Joey Styles is going in.
Oh my god!
Mm.
How many times has Joey Styles said "Oh my god" so far?
On the thing so far, maybe just a couple of times for some, hard shots, but I think later on in the card we'll see a little bit more of that very soon. I'll just say that.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Will we see it in your next match?
No, but there's a reason for that. So to break up the, we've had some good technical classics, some good throwdowns, Loki and Ishii, things like that. Need to break up the formula a little bit, so a little something more unconventional, but especially before the match I'm going to have after this, to kind of. To get something else in there. So I cut back to Mean Gene in ring, introducing the intergender wrestling champion of the world, Andy Kaufman, comes out to the middle of the ring, does his typical, my name is Andy Kaufman. I'm from Hollywood. I've got the brains. This is so, the whole thing. Women get back in the kitchen. His usual shtick that he would do, get the crowd nice and raw. And of course, with Mean Gene there, I think it could have been great. Reacting to all this. How dare you? There are these people. Have them reacting. I think they could have some good back and forth. And he's going to introduce. He is the undefeated intergender wrestling champion of the world. He only wrestles women. That is the caveat, obviously. But he's going to introduce his Hollywood $25,000 3-minute challenge to any woman on the roster that can pin his shoulders to the mat. And of course, this is where we introduce Stacy Keibler coming out to She's Got Legs. And it's one of those things where, again, I'm just showcasing these people kind of first on. Stacy Keibler comes out, and they start their thing. You could have Kaufman flailing around for a little while, Stacy doing her, big choke, with her legs in the corner, them rolling around with the referee, things like that. But eventually, Kaufman kind of cradles her up, even holding her legs down or, wrapping them up in some dramatic style, getting the pin, getting the crowd all riled up. And of course, it's going to build up eventually, where he's calling out women of varying degree, maybe even, people like, Victoria or some other people. Eventually, of course, it eventually builds to somebody like a Bull Nakata or Awesome Kong coming out and kicking the shit out of him eventually down the line. But to start off, you bring Stacy Keibler out, and just a little 2 or 3 minute thing, just something a little to break the kind of formula of the show. Just have something a little more fun, and just really showcase what Kaufman could do on the mic and his personality. So that's sort of my 6, I guess, match / segment, whatever you want to call it. 3-minute challenge thing. After Triple H and Okada, especially before what I have coming up next, just to kind of break it up a little bit. So there you go.
Nice.
Okada right now is in the back, like, what's this following up me? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I can just imagine Okada backstage finding Kaufman and being like, "Good luck."
Yeah. Good luck in your match.
Following
Yeah.
that.
But I would have loved to see Mean Gene and Andy in the ring, like as Kaufman's doing his, misogynist. They just going, just shaking his head, just you can't say that about these women, da da da, you can't say that about this crowd. How dare I'll say whatever I want, Mean Gene. I'm from Hollywood. I could buy you and sell you, left and right. Just I could see them having a lot of fun and maybe eventually building a thing even between them, just like not like a match thing, but just like having backstage segments and all kinds of shenanigans, just back and forth. It could be a lot of fun. I think they'd have great chemistry. So yeah.
Yeah, and that could even play into, Mean Gene choosing one of the women and, oh, hey, here's Bull Nakano. Good luck.
Yeah. You build up to that obviously eventually, much like I believe in the Rodney Mack White Boy Challenge, it built to eventually Goldberg came out and beat the shit out of him, like down the line or whatever. It was like one of those things. But yeah, it was, if I remember properly. But yeah, it's one of those things, and just a good showcase for Kaufman, and a nice little 3 or 4 minute or 5 minute diversion, just something else, give the crowd a little break before we bring it back to it. So there you go.
I totally forgot the Rodney Mack White Boy Challenge was a thing.
Do you remember that with him and Teddy Long, the White Boy Challenge? That was a thing on Raw. It was like the 5 minute White Boy Challenge, and eventually, and you knew it was coming eventually. I mean, I called it from like the second time he came out. I was like, oh, eventually Goldberg will come out. Like that was the, and of course that's what it built to. But yeah. That was the thing. So something similar here, where eventually it'll be Kong or Bull Nakano or somebody comes out and just kicks his ass. But yeah, that's the idea.
Nice. I like it. If it's done right, there's a place for it. So, I'm with it.
Sadly, there was only 6 White Boy challenges. It'll be missed.
Yeah, I don't remember it lasting long. It was like a little over a month, like it was every week on Raw or whatever. But yeah.
He went into a tag team with Chris. Rodney Mack went into a tag team with Chris Nowinski, didn't he? And then it was like, oh, why? And then like they had a feud of the Dudley Boys, and then like Chris Nowinski had a good point. It's like, why is your brother always telling you to get the tables? You had to think for a second.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Anyways, we move on to a triple threat match to crown our very first women's champion, and that triple threat, I'm not sure if we've had this. I know we've had combinations, but I don't know if we've had this exact triple threat, and that is Bayley versus Asuka versus Sasha Banks. That's a fun one to say fast. In a triple threat, just let them go out there, do their thing. I think these are 3 of the best in the business today. I think they would tear the house down. Give them 15 minutes, let them go, and Asuka is going to go over and get the victory to become the first champion.
Yeah.
So on television, this has never happened. Although they did several house show matches as this. So this match did happen, but not on television. They've been involved in some tag matches here and there. Last time on SmackDown, Asuka and Charlotte defeated Bayley and Carmella and Bianca and Sasha. But yes, this triple threat has never aired on television.
And if it hasn't aired on television, it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's not real. But it should be a good one though, man. I'm a big fan of all 3 of these. I was psyched to see Asuka return recently to WWE. I feel like she was missed. I'm a huge Bayley fan on every level, and I'm also a pretty big Sasha Banks fan too. Actually, I think these 3 are maybe some of my favorites. So yeah.
And by the way, Sasha Banks takes the pin, not Bayley. Just so maybe we see Asuka Bayley in the future.
Bayley. That way Bayley can glow she never lost.
You want sort of. I like Hugger Bayley, but you want no. I feel like you want heel Bayley, the badass Bayley, not Bayley.
Bayley I can get,
not the Bayley that's too afraid to actually hurt people when they're wrestling. But yeah, like I know it's a solid match. Three, best words better be. So yeah, there's not much I can say. There's no way that won't be good. So yeah, no, it's solid match.
Unless it's on NXT 2.0, then it might be horrible.
Oh, yeah, it could be. I don't know.
But in Triple H's NXT, this would have been amazing.
That'd been a banger. But, yeah.
This could have been a main
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, with this and NXT 2.0, they might add druids, or something to that effect. So yeah,
No
some
zombies.
dumb shenanigans. Yeah.
I love how Joe. I mean, it's a sidetrack, but I love how Joe Gacy's basically Bray Wyatt. Yeah, just weird. Yeah.
I mean, he's starting to be that way. That's not what the original gimmick was, I feel, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it is
the
starting to become
original
more
gimmick
just-
is a social
he's a
justice
cool
warrior.
guy. Yeah, it still says that too in his like Titantron, but yeah, it is
It's like
becoming
the
more
end of
just
it.
I'm a cold guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Richie, what do you got for number 6?
You're gonna really
Oh.
love it, Richie, when he gets Eric Rowan as his next guy.
Yeah. You're stop me if you've heard this before. My next one is Undertaker versus Kane.
Oh, another
Yeah,
original matchup. You guys
Ooh,
put
are
a
they
lot of
having-
thought into this.
Are they having an Inferno match, Richie?
I hadn't thought of that. It's a match with a stipulation. It's for the services of Paul Bearer. They could.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I can see that. Yeah. The winner gets
I-
Paul Bearer. Sure. Yeah.
Gonna be.
Are you gonna have him in a cement box on on the stage?
Yeah, with that leaves, or have him in have him in what was it, like a shark cage thing above the ring?
Yeah, hanging above the ring. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm gonna be completely honest, guys. I didn't know who to pair Paul Bearer with, so I just came up with this match.
Either tagging up or against each other. They have been in the ring 336 times together, going all the way back to the Unabomb days for Kane.
yeah.
So what's one more?
Yeah.
I'm gonna Kane's heel in this match. I'm gonna have him go over, and so it'll be Kane and Paul Bearer going for.
Now, does Paul Bearer help Kane?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know how
I
but he
don't.
does.
I don't think he did until you asked, Jacob. Yes.
Yeah, of course he did. He
I
does
had-
the old
I had
classic.
thought of
He
it.
does the old classic conk on the head with the urn. Of course. I mean, duh.
the urn. Yeah.
No, as long as the match is better than their last series of matches where Kane was the world heavyweight champion, I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
No. If you do like old school, like 1997, like Undertaker versus Kane, I think yeah.
You mean you
it'll
don't
be
want to
perfectly
see
fine.
like Crown Jewel Kane versus Crown Jewel Undertaker?
No.
Mask halfway through. Yeah.
Jordan, this is why I mute you. Because you say things like that.
No. To be honest, if it had Austin not got Mick Foley and I got Mick Foley, I would have done a triple threat match for Paul Bearer services.
Oh, right. I got you.
Yeah.
That's right, because you always forget. Yeah, Mankind had Paul Bearer for a little while with the urn and him like doing the rocking back and forth and shit. Yeah, in like 1996. Yeah, that's something. All right. No, hey, it's classic. If I have Midnight Express and rock and roll, why can't Richie have Kane and Undertaker go at it? Why the hell not?
Yes, I'm so glad you guys put so much thought into this. Really went crazy.
Well,
you're
you
gonna
showcase.
love me in two
Well, you
matches,
showcase
man.
all these guys, and who's to say down the line Midnight Express can't go against the Briscoes? I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, you could do that now. This is your one shot.
No,
People
I have
aren't buying
a
your next
reason.
pay-per-view.
I have a reason for doing what I'm doing. You'll see. I think about these things. I have a reason.
Yeah. Who says this is the only card we're
As
doing?
Jim Cornette says,
Mhm.
a lazy booking.
Yeah, but Jim Cornette said a lot of things. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was going to say something. A lot of racist.
Is he going to
things.
say
Yeah,
that?
well, I'm gonna
Is he going to
stop.
say that on a card that he's on? I don't think so. He's on currently. He's on my card, so I don't think he would go on the internet right afterwards and talk about lazy cooking. Sure.
He'll take
But
that
for now,
money.
he's not. He won't say anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what first time dream match Jordan has for us next then.
All right, so I feel like I've given all crazy dream matches. My next one for once is actually one that could technically maybe happen someday. If we've seen people come back, let's just get to it. We're crowning women's champions. Let's crown my women's champion. Fatal 4-way elimination. Becky Lynch, Paige, Ruby Soho, and Serena Deeb. Like I said, maybe Paige can make like a Daniel Bryan Edge like comeback. So there's still hopes that something like this could happen. But I think this is great. This is the real. I am the forbidden door now. As you have one of the top WWE women, one of the top WWE alumni versus two of the top in AEW right now. I think they put together a really good match. Made eliminations that way we can make it really interesting to the very end. You know, get down to our final two. Still have kind of a real even singles match on top of that. I would actually take Paige out first. She's still getting used to getting back from injuries. Oh wait, it's any Paige. Never mind, whatever. Paige goes out first, then take out Deeb, and with Soho getting that big win that she deserves. Some respect finally to Ruby Soho walking away the first EWE Women's Champion.
I want to see a match where Becky Lynch faces Ruby Soho, and the winner can never wear makeup again. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
A makeup match. You're forbidden to put any kind of lipstick or powder on your face or color your hair or anything. You must go all natural for the next ensuing months. There you go.
That's everyone.
Or
Yeah.
Paige versus Ruby Soho, and the loser has to give up listening to punk music.
Yes.
No, Richie. That's why they're in this match because I love a book. That's how you get booked by me.
But it's a solid match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as fatal 4-way elimination matches go, this is second best.
What's number one? Yours?
Maybe? I don't know.
What was yours again? Let's talk. What was yours?
Owen Hart versus William Regal versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Finn Balor.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
all right. You had the
Well,
wrong guy going over.
I had the
that.
4-way women's match as well with Kong, Jazz, Victoria, and Bull Nakano. I think that'd be
Yeah, but you're
Oh,
holding
sorry,
back
Jordan.
on yours. You're holding back on yours.
Well.
Sorry, Jordan, third best.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit.
Maybe,
No, this would be a solid match. I really like what Serena's doing right now. I kind of hope she takes the title at Double or Nothing. I don't know if she will because we're still kind of early
Well,
into
she-
Thunder Rosa's reign, but
She made my flyer, baby.
yeah, no, it's a solid match. I think all four women in that match are good workers, so it would be
They're
entertaining.
Great workers.
yeah. Maybe a take, but I actually think Ruby Soho is going to win the female the Owen Hart tournament.
I think she might, but I also said that for the TBS title, so I've been wrong before.
No, I feel like they're going to give her a due. Like, hey, we've kind of been slack on you, not putting either title on you, and but you're valuable. Here's Owen Hart win. I think that's what's going to happen, unless the Joker is somebody significant, like maybe.
Yeah, okay, am I the only one who, when they said so, like they were showing the brackets for the men's one, and it said so and so versus Joker? I thought about CZW's Joker, and I was like, they signed the CZW Joker.
I'll go
I
ahead
was
and
like,
answer that. Yes, you were the only one that thought that.
They signed Jared Leto. That's
one of my favorite matches of all time is Chris Cash versus Joker in a ladder match in CZW, and I was like, they signed
Chris
that
Cash.
guy. Yeah, I was like, they signed
Cash.
Joker from CZW, and I was like, oh, that's right, they do these like Joker slots, and I was like, they signed Joker? Weird, that's random. I didn't know the guy was still working.
I'll put a prediction out there that the woman's Joker is Athena, aka Emma Moon, and the men's Joker, I think I would like it to be Chris Hero, but I think it's probably going to be Claudio.
Yeah.
I actually, you know what? I'm not even lying. I think that's 100% what my guess would be. So yeah, I'm with you.
We'll see.
All right.
Who was that? That was Jordan. So Austin.
Yeah.
what is your next match?
All right, so yeah, I need a little break before, and also give them a chance to do that, get the crowd all riled up, go backstage for a minute as we hang the titles high above the ring, the tag team titles for our ladder match, our triangle ladder match of Harlem Heat versus the Briscoes versus Jurassic Express. I think all these guys would bring an interesting angle to the ladder match thing. You could have the Harlem Heat guys just hitting straight. Stevie Ray's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but you could have him grab a ladder and just assault people with a ladder, and I think it would be perfectly fine. You could have Booker T, hitting some good athletic stuff. Jurassic Express doing their wacky double teams, with Jungle Boy flying all over the place. They could obviously. People could toss Jungle Boy left and right. Him being about 110 pounds, just toss him all over the place. And the Briscoes, we've seen what they can do in ladder matches. Obviously, the ladder war they had with El Generico and Kevin Steen kind of showcased that. But I always like having some bigger guys in ladder matches too, with Luchasaurus and somebody like Stevie Ray, bringing an interesting angle to it. So I love ladder matches, and I've always been a fan of those like sort of tag team style ladder matches. So Harlem Heat, Briscoes, and Jurassic Express for the tag team titles high above the ring. So there you go for my seventh match. And I'll have Harlem Heat go over. By the way, I want them to chase Harlem Heat. So.
We've had some great triangle ladder matches in the past. That's basically the original TLC was the triangle ladder match, but I like the teams that are here. It'd be interesting to see what Harlem Heat could have done, later on if they had fought, teams like that in matches like those. We never really got to see Harlem Heat in that light a hell of a lot. I think the other two teams would gel well as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those
and then, like I said, I can have any number of Briscoes, Jurassic Express, Midnight Express, and Rock and Roll Express. Have any number of combinations of matches chasing Harlem Heat, for the titles and building up to that. So, and eventually building up to probably Briscoes versus Harlem Heat, something like that down the line, just 1-on-1. So that's my showcase of that. Hang them up.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see Briscoes and Jurassic Express at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. They're an Impact at the moment. They're Impact champions, but you could definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like AEW hasn't shown up on Impact before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's funny that you have your tag team championship match, and now I'm gonna have my tag team championship match. And that is it will not be a ladder match. This will just be a one fall match, but it will be between the teams of FTR with Tully Blanchard in their corner and the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm not sure if we've seen this match. I feel like it's a match we could see and a match we should see. I think FTR is the best team currently going. I think they are just fantastic. Even their match that they had against one another was amazing. Fantastic match. Motor City Machine Guns, one of my favorite tag teams of all time. I think they work so well together, and I think these two teams could put on a tag team clinic if given the time. And since I'm the booker, they are given the time. We're going 20 minutes with these guys, back and forth. But ultimately, they're the best team going right now. So they're going to get the victory here, and they're going to keep being chased. That is FTR.
I like it. I think it's good.
I think this match could happen on a future Ring of Honor show. I could see it still happening at some point, because obviously Motor City is still wrestling every now and then, and FTR doing a thing. So I feel like Tony Khan could put this together at some point, especially out on a Ring of Honor show or something.
Get some more money.
Yeah, and Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore's worked together before, so even if they're still with Impact, they can be like, hey, can we borrow Motor City Machine Guns for a card? So.
Yeah. Much in the way WWE did a cruiserweight tournament, I would love to see AEW do a tag team tournament.
Thought that
like not only using because I think they have the best tag team roster. Like, I don't think it's close. I think their tag team roster is stacked. It's just something I would like to see, but that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. I like it. Richie, do you have a tag team title match as well at number 7 or no?
No, I already had my tag title match, which was the
That's
three.
right.
Yeah. So this is number 7 of 10, by the way. I've got a 10 match card. It's the battle of the 3 names I'm going to go MJF versus Rob Van Dam, and Rob Van Dam's going to be accompanied by Jimmy Hart. I think that's me kind of. I feel like it would kind of work. I think this could be a solid match. MJF's a great storyteller in the ring. I just think the build up to the match would be kind of fun. I had MJF going over here, but yeah, I think it'd be I just think it would be an entertaining, solid match. So yes, the battle of the three names: MJF, RVD.
Yeah, those two names have never clashed before. We've seen MJF. He can have a really good match with someone that's kind of a high flyer, more flashy, and have a really good contrast of styles. I think this would be great. I would actually be tempted. I know MJF doesn't need a mouthpiece for promos, but I think Jimmy Hart with MJF would also be kind of interesting as well.
I was toying with that.
Just adding to his douchiness, because Hart can be a fun douchey manager too.
Well, and I just realized you drafted RVD. You could have drafted Bill Alfonso and had him doing the old.
I thought of that later. I
thought
of that later on. I was like, why don't I do Bill?
Okay, as a guy that knows Bill Alfonso, he's a sweet guy, but man, that whistle's fucking annoying. So I'm glad.
No. Here's what I would do. As the booker, I would tell him to calm down on the fucking whistle. But he was always good as far as like tossing the chairs to RVD. Like he was always spot on as far as like being the assistant to him with the Van Daminators and all that. So like he was always good in that role. Yeah, I would just tell him like, let's only do the whistle gimmick a couple of times per match. Let's ease up on the thing a little bit. You can play to the crowd. I mean, do the whistle thing when they've got their double downs. When it's like a dead spot in the match, then you do the whistle with the crowd or whatever. Like, there's a way to do that and get the attention on yourself and while they're kind of catching their breath or whatever. But yeah, like there are some ECW ones where it's just like you get halfway through the match and you're like, shut the fuck up, Bill. Like, just stop. Like, there's a way to do this the good way, like ease up a little bit. But yeah,
it's kind of like when like Eminem were a tag team, like Mercury Morrison, and then like Melina had that gimmick where she would scream, but she'd fucking scream she'd scream every fucking 2 minutes. It's like, I get it's your gimmick, but shut up for like just give it some space between screams. Just like shut up.
Yeah. Well, it's like Jim Cornette would know when to get the attention on himself. Obviously, when they would be doing a rest hold or a double down, whatever. There's a time and place for the manager to get the attention on themselves and kind of distract the crowd for a minute. There's a time and place for that. But yeah, like it's just one of the things. Yeah, I think if they had a little more guidance early on, pick your spots as a manager or a valet, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
What will we see next?
All right. All right, guys. Are you ready to get wrestling boners? Because if you don't get a wrestling boner, I don't know what's wrong with you. Bam! What do I have to say? I don't gotta say nothing. It's AJ. It's Eddie. You're welcome, world, for giving you this fake match. But still, if this was real, you're welcome, world. By God, what? Oh, so good, so good. Eddie wins. I got nothing else to say. It's great.
In theory, this could have
happened in 2002. It could have happened.
There's a window of time where it could have happened. Yeah, like where Eddie was working for Ring of Honor briefly. Yeah.
Well, he had a match with CM Punk in like IWA Mid-South. Like he had a couple. He was having a couple matches with the indie guys. It was. This could have happened around 2002 when those guys were doing indie spots.
Yeah, Eddie's gone from Ring of Honor before AJ starts. He starts like a month or two later. Mm-hmm. So there's a small window. These two never did fight. No W. Well, I guess obviously not WCW, but yeah.
Theoretically. Had Eddie stuck around in WCW, they theoretically could have, because wasn't AJ and Air Paris in there in the last couple of months?
Like, WCW too. Yeah, Eddie's gone by the time AJ starts. Another window.
Yeah, right.
If Eddie was there a year or two later, could have been possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I'm like these guys would gel. Yeah, no problem. They would have a hell of a chemistry. Yeah, this would be an easy like fucking 4 or 5 star match, like pretty easy for sure.
Yeah, if it was in Tokyo, 5, but it's not in Tokyo. So
yeah, right. It's not in the Tokyo Dome. So Dave Meltzer won't give it 5 stars.
4.5. Yeah, fucking Meltzer.
You
Yep,
know, the Tokyo
don't-
Dome just brings something special to the match. You know, having it in the Tokyo Dome, it just with that atmosphere around there, it's really something. I mean, those guys could have really, done it anyway. I mean, just having it in the Tokyo Dome is that's my Dave Meltzer.
And then Brian Alvarez will have like, actually, I think, no, I'm finished my, and then you just cut him off. No, actually, I haven't finished my opinion.
Yeah. Well, look, I was just trying to. Well, if you look at these guys, well, these guys got what these guys had. It's it's so frustrating. I can't listen to Meltzer anymore. I love Brian and Vinny. Like I'll listen to all of them all day. But yeah, Brian and Dave, it's frustrating because Dave just doesn't shut the fuck up sometimes and and know when to take a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Brian and Vinny, which is why I subscribe to those guys. But
I love him too.
yeah. Anyways, total sidetrack.
Shout out to Brian Alvarez and Vincent Verha if you're watching, and also Craig Proper if you're watching.
Yeah, those guys are great. And Granny, hi Granny.
Hey, Granny.
Anyways, hey, you want a wrestling boner, JPO? I'll give you a wrestling boner with my number 8 match.
I'm still
All right, you ready for
the last time, but
you ready for a wrestling boner? You ready for the chop battle of the century with Kenta Kobashi and Walter throwing down in the middle of the ring? Holy shit, right? Kenta Kobashi and Walter. Just imagine those guys standing toe to toe in the middle of the ring, just absolutely chopping the ever loving shit out of each other. It would be, man, just two big, giant, beefy dudes, just laying waste to each other in the middle of the ring. I think this is a hell of a dream match. And unfortunately, again, a match that probably could have happened at some point, especially when Kobashi was still working, because he was working up until 2010 maybe, or 20, he was still working for a while, and Walter was kind of coming into his prominence, in the early 2010s, kind of over in Europe and stuff. So they could have theoretically crossed paths at some point, but they never did. But yeah, Kenta Kobashi and Walter, man, I had to put these two guys together just for the chops alone would be greatness.
Kobashi made it to 2012 and had a one-off in 2013.
Yeah, and I don't know when Walter was kind of coming into his prominence. I'd have to look up his sort of a trail, but I know he was doing that WXW kind of stuff.
Actually,
in Germany.
This match, there was a tag team match in Germany. Go Shiozaki and Kenta defeated Bad Bones and Big Van Walter, which is Walter, back in 2008. So he did get a taste of the Kobashi.
Yeah. But these guys throwing down one-on-one, I think would just be epic. I would just love to have seen it. So there you go.
I'm very concerned.
I'll have Walter go over, by the way, eventually.
I'm very concerned at the amount of times we use the term wrestling boner in the last 3 minutes.
Well, you better continue to get word because the boners ain't stopping.
Let's get wrestling boner trending, guys. Hashtag wrestling boner.
Wrestling boner. Yeah.
We're gonna rebrand for the second time, guys. Welcome to
As
Wrestling
the-
Boner Podcast.
As the wrestling boners, yeah.
Podcast.
Team boners for life.
All right, now it's weird.
We'll
It was always weird, Jacob.
It's not weird. Rematches, which is what I have next, because they split. We need the rubber match. Shawn Michaels coming out with Diesel versus Razor Ramon in a ladder match to crown the Pacific champion. Had to do it. They were both on my roster. I had to do it. I mean, they're tied at one piece. We're gonna give them
Sean to do a rematch. God damn it! You stole Sean.
Well, you stole my opponent for him.
Oh.
So I couldn't. But by the way, both my opponents that I had in mind for Shawn Michaels were these two. So this is a nice consolation to.
Didn't Shawn and Eddie had a match on Raw in like 2003 or something like that? Didn't they? Or
I don't know.
They were. That was the rumored Shawn Michaels match for WrestleMania 22 before Eddie passed away. They were going to do
Yeah, they
Eddie
never
Shawn.
touched it. That is a dream match. And obviously not to give alternate spoilers, but yeah, dude, Shawn versus AJ was my original main event. But you fucked me over.
It was mine too, and I have a new one. But no, this is just because the first two matches were fantastic. They split 1-1. It's time to find out who is the true champion. Diesel tries to get involved, but the number one contender to the championship comes out and thwarts that because he wants to face the real champion, and the real champion is going to win this match with no interference, no outside, no nothing. And that's going to be Razor Ramon going
You
over.
steal Shawn, you put him in a rematch, and you job him. But I guess Eddie and Shawn never did touch. They were in the 03-05 Rumble. No matches outside of that, though.
Yeah. Well, the reason I do that is, and then leading up to the Razor Finn Balor match, we get, I know I drafted him as a manager, but whatever, it's fantasy booking now at this point. We get Shawn Michaels and Diesel against Razor and Finn Balor, and can they coexist, or that whole thing?
No. Against the fantasy rules, you said Diesel as manager.
Maybe I drop somebody and pick up a new manager.
No.
Sorry, John, you lost. You're out. Bye, Cena.
All right.
And also,
All right, Richie.
it's a screw you, Jordan, for taking AJ and Eddie away from me. It's your reason. It's your fault that Shawn lost. Anyway, Richie, what's next?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say wrestling boner again because you're gonna get one. And look, I feel like if we say this too often, I feel like we're gonna get even more of the spam that we always get on StreamYard for the click on this link. You're gonna so anyway, I'm gonna do like a ring. This is another ladder match for a triple threat for the GOW TV title, and it's going to be a Ring of Honor showcase as you got Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins versus Jay Lethal. I think that this match will be terrific, and you can't go wrong with these three guys. I'm sure they've probably wrestled before, maybe in the same combination that I've got here. But I'm going to have Joe go over. So yeah, I think this match would be great. So yes.
Well, if it's a Ring of Honor showcase, would it be Tyler Black or would it be Seth Rollins?
I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have him do his thing he used to do in the Indies, where he'd do the song and in his entrance, or he'd go out in the crowd and do his slam dancing and shit like that, pre-match, and get completely blown up, and then try to go in and continue to have a match. That's a good showcase. I like that we've all basically had ladder matches so far, but yeah, ladder matches are fun, and it'd be fun to kind of book fantasy ladder matches, or in Jacob's case, just another of the same old, but sure. No, but I like the idea of No, that's true. I mean, they had a rematch. A lot of people don't remember. Yeah, they had a rematch ladder match, and yeah, they never had a third one, so that's fine.
We're having it.
But
now.
Yeah, sure. No, it sounds good. But yeah, no, those three guys could definitely have a hell of a match, obviously, and I know they've had matches against each other in one capacity or another, over the years. But yeah, throw them in there. Why not? I threw my 3 tag teams in there. We're just gonna throw those 3 guys in there and just let them steal the show. Yeah, fine with me.
Jordan, what do you think? Wake up.
Good. It's good.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're past the 2-hour mark, so let's run through your next match.
All right, next up. Where is it? Oh, because I think I blew this one up. I'm like, I'm not done, I swear. Tag team championships on the line. The Hardy Boys with the Z. Matt and Jeff taking on the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. And you know what? I drafted MVP. I'm going to put MVP with the Kings of Wrestling. I think he could be a good talker for them. Really hype them up. Cesaro, decent talker. He's got a lot of swagger in the ring, but I think he could use a mouthpiece. And I think it will help also add to their heel, make them the heels of the matches here. Because the Hardys are just people want to cheer the Hardys. I think it's a good mix here. We've seen the Hardys have some decent ones in recent years. When they came back, them in the bar had a really good match. And no offense to Sheamus, I think this is a little bit of a step above with Hero. Instead of Sheamus, I think you'd have a really good match here, especially if we're fantasy booking it. I can shave off a few years on the Hardys and really kind of take these two teams at their prime and have just one hell of a match for the tag team championships. And at the end of the day, I'll put the faces over, get tag titles on the Hardys, and they'll hold them for a little bit, unlike WWE.
But are they the Extreme Hardys or are they broken?
Nah, they're Extreme, baby.
The Hardy Bros with the
We'll
Z.
break them later. We'll break them later down the line. But right now, they're Extreme with the Z.
Extreme with a Z.
I don't know what I meant by that. Ignore me.
Extreme.
Ignore me.
Anyway, no, solid match. Cesaro is one of my favorites. I thought he should have been a world champion, but that never happened. So, and then you book him to lose. So whatever, he's still not getting respected.
Whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, it's such a horrible spot being on a pay-per-view with the Hardys. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Losing once again.
I mean, it'll be a solid match. That might be, you're not wasting him in a rematch or something. But
Hey, you know what,
no,
Austin? What do you think?
No, I like Hardys and Kings of Wrestling in theory. Like, yeah, and it's funny that another one that you think, in that weird point when the Hardys were doing back on the Indies, doing their thing. If not for Cesaro still being employed and kind of wasted on thing, they could have teamed up with Hero, but yeah, like I'd like to see the Kings of Wrestling again, reunited at some point, because I was always a fan of them as a tag team. They always had great matches, really solid. So there's a lot of definitely dream scenarios kind of floating around with them on your roster. Yeah, they were one of my potentials. I wanted to book, or I wanted to draft, but JPO just got to it first. But yeah, I'm a big fan of those guys.
All right, Richie, go ahead.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. It's all right. It's fine. It wasn't important.
Well,
right.
If it wasn't important, then we'll move on to Austin.
Okay, so my semi-main event will be my semi-main will be a number one contender match for the world title. We'll face the winners of my main event. And it's a match where these guys have had matches against each other. It has happened. But my caveat is that I drafted sort of Ric Flair from, sort of Crockett era, 88, 89, Ric Flair facing in his prime Chris Benoit. So a reliable match, but still always will definitely be good, especially if you got a little more old school Ric Flair, Benoit and Ric Flair facing each other for the number one contenders. I know I looked it up. I think they had a match on like Thunder at one point, a couple of encounters in WCW. And then, they had a few Raw encounters, here and there in multi-man matches, things like that. But yeah, both in their prime, I think they could absolutely have an awesome 20-minute match, just a great technical classic, hard hitting, just good stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a reliable match, but why not? If you're in a semi-main event spot, go with two guys who will just go out there and deliver. So Benoit and in his prime Ric Flair.
That means the main event I predicted you would do did not happen.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, this is a solid match. Like I would
well, let me know what you thought, because it might happen on my next show theoretically. Depending on who goes over. Because in my match, Ric Flair goes over in my match to become the number one contender.
Okay.
So
I'll let you know after your main event then.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah. Ric Flair will go over here and become the number one contender and face the winner of my my main event on the next pay-per-view. So there you go.
All right.
It's a good technical match. I'm sure, they've wrestled quite a few times for it. I'm sure in WCW and WWE. But yeah, no, there's solid co-main, and then a solid, appearing for like a number contender match. I think that would be great.
They wrestled on some house shows for WCW. Don't forget there were 4 horsemen and some tags, so I don't think there's any one-on-ones. They did wrestle one-on-one in WWE on a couple different occasions, including one I saw. They headlined a house show here in Fort Myers. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, I've seen that match live, actually. So yeah,
I've got something. Ric Flair versus Chris Benoit from Thunder, May 27th, 99. They went like
I might have
19 minutes
there's
or something.
There's a lot to
yeah,
skip
I mean,
through, so okay.
Oh yeah, no, and then yeah, like I said, they had a Raw match in like 2004, went about 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean they've had a few encounters here and there. They were also in some, Evolution versus Benoit and some of those guys. Yeah, things like that. So they've encountered a few times, but yeah, it's always reliable. So why not? Benoit and Flair, they're going to go out and have a fun match. So. Yeah, easy booking, but why not? Sometimes the most obvious thing is the most obvious thing, and why not? So there you go, crowd pleaser.
Solid.
All right, Jacob.
I guess I'm just gonna keep the trend of copying Austin because I also have a number 1 contenders match coming up, and I was very surprised that these two have not crossed paths in a one-on-one match. They've only been in Royal Rumbles, and even then, I'm sure they didn't actually, touch each other. That is Chris Jericho versus Brock Lesnar, and this is heel 2008 Chris Jericho going up against 2003 Brock Lesnar when he was actually wrestling and putting on great matches with the likes of Angle and others. Not the 2004 WrestleMania 20 Brock Lesnar, not that one,
and not like just suplexing dudes in squash matches. Brock Lesnar, yeah, back when he was wrestling Kurt Angle, wrestling Benoit, wrestling those guys on SmackDown and having great matches. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, it's weird that these guys never actually had a one-on-one match, given the fact that they were obviously around for a year and a half or so together. I know they were Jericho around that time was on the Raw brand, so that's probably why he was when he was doing 2003 with Christian, kind of heel Jericho, I guess around that time. But yeah, the fact that they never actually had a match against each other as many times as Chris Jericho's come back and Brock Lesnar's been around, forever. That would be a good match, and yeah, especially both those guys in their prime. Yeah, for sure.
They've never had a one-on-one match, but they have had a one-on-one fight backstage.
Yeah, that's true.
When Jericho was included on the fact that the Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar thing was a work, even though it looks brutal. It was planned, and then so Jericho got into his face and they had a bit of a scuffle. But yeah, you can play off that, I guess, if it's kind of set after that incident.
But yeah, they go out, they tear the house down, and just when you think Jericho's about to make Brock tap, Brock fights out of it, and eventually Brock hits the F5 and gets the win. Number 1 contender.
Back when one F5 would put somebody away, back in the day,
right?
Not kick out of 1.
Yeah, right. No, I like it. It's a good again match that for whatever reason never happened. Yeah, you think would have, but yeah, that's a good booking thing right there. Match that back in the day would have been a lot of fun. So sounds good, man. Richie, what's your semi-main event? What do you got?
I also have a normal contenders match.
Hey, it's a natural. Why not on your first show? You got to set some things up and get the ball rolling. Why not? So there you go.
Number 1 contenders match for the women's championship. And it's going to be Thunder Rosa versus Rhea Ripley. I think this could have a really solid match. I think they work well together. Two sort of badass chicks. So yeah, I think it'd be a solid, a great semi-main, and good showcase for both women. So yes, that's my sense. That's my code.
I like it. I think that's a match I would very much like to see. I don't know if we will. I don't know if either of them are jumping ship anytime soon. I think if anyone does, it'll be Rhea jumping over him, but who knows?
You never-
maybe
you never
sometime in
know.
the future.
You never know in WWE, like, they could, you never know who's going to get released these days, unfortunately. So,
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
randomly.
just
Yeah.
very randomly, they could be involved in a high-profile feud and then just get cut. So, I mean, not that I hope that for Rhea because I want to have a stable job, but but you never know, it could happen.
And
what do you think, Jordan?
Speaking on that real quick, I do
I
not
like it too. I
get-
like it a lot.
I do not get why people who bash on the WWE for booking their like these wrestlers that they like get upset when said wrestler is then released.
Yeah.
Like, all right, but you don't like the way they were booked and you want them to be booked better, and now you're upset that they're released and they can go to a different company
then
that might
go
book
to a
them
place
better.
where they book better. Yeah.
Why are you upset?
I guess because there's so much potential there that they could, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I think it's just frustration with wanting WWE to be better and wanting to be able to see the talent what they are, as opposed to just being expendable. So I think that's probably where it's coming from. But I get what you mean.
Alrighty, so we had a tag team title match here. We're in the semi-main event. I want to try to save it a little bit for the main event, or do I? We got a triple threat match: Christopher Daniels, Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler. Here's my multi-man match here. We've seen Daniels have maybe match of the year in a triple threat before with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles here. I think Dolph Ziggler's a bumping machine. Sami Zayn can you play it up as well and can kind of play anything you need him to be, whether it's a cowardly heel or a really fast-paced wrestler himself. So yeah, I just think these three would have a really fun match. You don't have to go too long. Just kind of keep it nice and fast as a little bit of a cool before the storm of the main event.
And
let's go Christopher Daniels. He doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, no, I think that's solid. I think this is a great, just a great showcase of great technical wrestlers. I got confused there for a sec because says Sami Zayn in the middle and you got him on the other side. I'm like, oh, up there. I went with Sami Zayn, but yeah, no.
It's like those movie posters where they have the names at the top, but they're not over the actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this will be solid. I don't know. No, I feel like we've said solid like 9,000 times this episode. I don't know what else other description they use.
I'm looking up to see did El Generico ever face Christopher Daniels in the in the indie scene? Ring of Honor.
Why does that
type
matter?
of thing. I don't know. I was just curious. That would be a good match.
Yeah,
I'd like to
this
see
would be
that
a great match, and then Dolph Ziggler would just run to the back saying, "It should have been me. I should have won this match. It should have been me."
Oh, they definitely fought. Because didn't
2011 they did
title off him?
Yeah, the 2011 had happened, and then even going back further, they had some multi-man matches back in 05, 06. So it's happened a couple times, but yeah, there you go.
And then adding one of the greatest sellers of all time and Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. El Generico defeated Daniels for the TV title at Best in the World 2011.
We've got to keep Dolph Ziggler. We've got to keep Dolph Ziggler happy, guys. Otherwise, he might suddenly retire and start becoming a comedian full time. And
I saw him perform. He's very punny.
He's very punny.
Very punny. Very much. Yeah, it's like you can tell like he's like writing them out and like that's what a lot of his stuff is. But it was a cheap meet and greet. I got a couple things signed. It was cool.
Can you imagine like him doing a comedy show with Brendan Schaub? That'd be terrible. That'd be something.
Well, when I saw Mick Foley do a stand-up show in Greenville, South Carolina, the Man Scout Jake Manning opened up for him for like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, I talked to Jake about it because I put Jake down here and I was like, oh, I'll try to find you some comedy spots.
Mm-hmm. He was pretty solid.
when I did at the sit down with the sit down comedy club with Mick Foley, his opener was other than a couple other guys and myself was Al Snow. So that was kind of fun.
He cracked jokes on me because I went to the Mick Foley show with a Job Squad shirt on, and then got a photo op with him wearing my Job Squad shirt. So I thought that was funny. Anyways,
Speaking of Mick Foley, tell us about your main event, Austin.
So a match that, while it's happened, it hasn't happened, and I'll explain why in a second. So while Steve Austin and Mick Foley have had encounters, against each other, we've never seen Steve Austin versus Cactus Jack. We've seen Steve Austin versus Dude Love. We've seen Steve Austin and Mankind mix it up. We have never seen Steve Austin versus Cactus Jack. So in a street fight, obviously. But yeah, for my title, I'm bringing out the big main roster big guns, the star power. But yeah, I just when I sat down and I kind of Googled it and thought about it, I actually there was a match they had Austin and Dude Love. It was like in '98 Over the Edge. They had like a fun sort of the one where they have it starts out as a match and then Vince McMahon is the referee and all of them. They're changing the rules as they go, so they turn it into a street fight. They turn it into a Falls Count Anywhere. But they're brawling all over the place. Steve Austin was always great at doing those sort of ringside brawls, just brawling all over the stage and things like that. But to me, you mix in the element of Foley doing his Cactus Jack stuff, maybe bringing in more weapons, a little barbed wire, a little something here and there, it'd flare it up. And yeah, it's surprising that it never happened because, both the guys were in ECW around the same time and it never happened. And then, yeah, the fact that they were obviously in WWE for the longest time, but even during Foley's Cactus Jack run in '97, they never crossed paths as that. So it's a dream match that it's like again they've had matches in those incarnations, but we never see Steve Austin and Cactus Jack, and I just thought it'd be fun to showcase Foley in that way in his prime. So and I'll have Stone Cold Steve Austin go over to eventually face Ric Flair to set that match up. So there you go.
Which is the main event I thought you were going for with this show.
No, because I wanted to do that, like the more reliable stuff, and then build to Steve Austin and Ric Flair. So, and have them kind of build up and do, again, prime Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Crockett era prime Ric Flair would be a hell of a match. So yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
I'm on the Cactus Jack and Stone Cold. Sign me up. Take my money. Or maybe I'll just pirate it later because I don't know if I can afford $49.95 right now.
Especially back then. Yeah, when you're a kid. Come on, Mom and Dad, charge the credit card. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's solid. I think. I don't. I don't think they have wrestled. But I think they would have a great match. It'd be tough to live up to Cactus Jack and Triple H, but I think they could do it.
If anybody could do it, and again, Cactus Jack fought Triple H, Steve Austin fought Triple H. There's been combinations. Even Cactus Jack was in WCW back in '93. Steve Austin was there too, doing the Hollywood Blondes thing, and they just never crossed paths as Cactus Jack versus Steve Austin. So I it's kind of baffling that never happened. But yeah, just put that spin on it, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. So
definitely, I think that'd be a good one. That'd be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Steve Austin? You have Steve Austin going over? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah. Austin's going over to set up him and Ric Flair later. Yeah. Having a both those guys in their prime, kind of a match later. Yeah.
It's cool. I actually, I'll probably have Austin go over as well. But I feel like one of the sort of downsides is Cactus Jack's he's always in these sort of brawls and street fights, but he never actually get cut
wins. I know it sucks, but at the same time, it's like I want to send the crowd home happy, and the crowd loves Stone Cold Steve Austin, so I want to have him go over. But again, he never went over, and it's weird. The one of the baffling things about that feud he had with Triple H back then is he never won any of those matches, which is weird. I thought he should have at least got one of those wins. Like I understand Triple H going over him in the Hell in a Cell stuff, but yeah, the fact that he didn't win like the street fight either at the Rumble was weird, or he never even won any of their encounters. But yeah, it was always strange. But at the same time, it's like if they have a great match, i.e., Randy Orton and Cactus Jack, he still get over, and it's perfectly fine. So yeah, Foley, he had his moments here and there where he does go over, but it's okay. Those guys will just have a great match, and as Cornette would say, it doesn't matter if you have a great match. It doesn't matter who really goes over. If the match gets over, everybody gets over. So that's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, I guess when to the point where when Mick Foley did go, it'd be a surprise. Like when I remember watching I think it was SummerSlam '99 when it was a triple threat, Triple H, Mankind, and then Austin. They did just Mankind just hits the double DDT and pins Austin. Like, what the fuck? What happened? Not at all.
Yeah,
clean.
But actually, the result of Austin going over wasn't a surprise because Tony Schiavone was like, "Hey, let's spoil the results of Austin's show because we want people to watch ours instead," and it backfired because people were like, "Oh, let's go watch Austin."
Yeah.
We beat Cactus Jack, and I didn't appreciate that. Anyway, my main event is one that we have not seen. We have seen these two in the ring together, but it was not in a one-on-one match. It was in a 3-on-2 handicap match at WrestleMania 20. And my main event to crown the first heavyweight champion in Northwest Pro is Randy Orton versus The Rock. And this is Legend Killer Randy Orton. I absolutely loved Legend Killer Randy Orton. And this is like The Rock when he returned kind of around when he was facing John Cena, only instead of only returning for that one match, he's back. He's back. He's like, no, Hollywood doesn't need me right now. They need more. They need to make stars out of other people. I've done enough. I'm gonna go back to my second love of wrestling because my first love was football, but I'm too old for that. So yeah, Legend Killer Randy Orton versus legendary Rock. Great match back and forth. Randy Orton does his usual heel tactics, but again, I want to send the crowd home happy too. First champ will be The Rock, and we will be setting up Rock versus Rock 2. So that's my main event. Randy Orton versus The Rock with The Rock going over.
Interesting. Like I said, we got a little taste of it before, but Randy Orton, there's a reason he's been gainfully employed for the last 20-something years, and hey, man, I think The Rock can maybe bring out the best in him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is more like a personal dream match of mine too. Like
they've
wanted to see happen.
I think they've only really touched in was it WrestleMania 20?
Yeah, that was the Evolution versus Rock and Sock. Yeah, that's the only time they ever had encounters. Yeah, in the ring, really. It was in that match. They a couple of segments here and there. That was really it. Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see like Rock, Brock, and then Mick Foley, just so I can see Rock versus Brock versus Sock. So
Rock and Sock. Yeah. Well, see, Harlem Heat going over my thing sets up a potential an express three-way with Jurassic, Rock and Roll at Midnight, all fighting for the name of the Express, potentially in the future. Only the winner can use the name. It's like Booker T when he couldn't when they fought over the T with him and T. He cannot use the T anymore.
It could be a 3-way street fight where you end up fighting in a Panda Express.
Jesus. Yeah. What is this, an Al Snow match, Richie? Come on now. What are we doing? Hell no.
Yeah. I also have a follow-up match for Randy Orton since we're using his Legend Killer gimmick. He moves from this from The Rock onto Mr. Perfect, which I think could be pretty fun as well.
Well, again, that was another match that potentially could have happened because Orton was around, almost around that time, coming in doing when he was doing his first gimmick. So yeah, another match that potentially could have happened had Mr. Perfect not kind of screwed it all, or the plane ride and his personal demons. But yeah, another match that could have happened.
But that's a discussion
Alright.
for another time. Right now, we're talking main events. So, Richie, hit us with your main event.
I mean, it's not really a surprise at this point. No clues for guessing. But you might not guess the match time. My match for the GOW Championship is a ultimate submission match between Bret Hart and Kurt Angle.
Could it have been anything else?
Yeah, right.
This match will be. Yeah, I just think this match is just it's just a shame they came out in different eras because this would be a banger. Two of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. And yeah, I just think that they'd put up that there'd be magic in the ring together. I'm gonna have a Bret Hart actually win the match, and then Kurt Angle chase as the heel. So yeah, no, this has to be my main. When I drafted these two, I'm like that has to be my main event. So
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, another one that two guys who kind of again just missed each other with Kurt Angle coming in late '99. Bret was still wrestling in WCW at the time, so they were both working around the same time. Still had Bret Hart not gotten hurt, retired. You never know what would happen. Maybe he could have come back at some point and come back into the company, and they could have had a match. But another what if scenario. But I like it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you mentioned this. Please tell me this is like 2006 Kurt Angle.
Wrestling Machine Kurt Angle or like 2001 Kurt Angle?
Because
Yeah.
man, that Kurt Angle. That's like my favorite.
I'll say it's Wrestling Machine Kurt Angle. I hadn't really put much thought into it, but
Right. This is where the current wrestling boner is going to come back in. Yeah, this could definitely be a better Ultimate Submission match than the one he had with Chris Benoit at Backlash. So, I mean, yeah, this has main event written all over it, and no surprise.
All right.
No surprise at all.
Yeah. And I mean, I know what your main event is, Jordan, and I'm also not surprised. So why don't you tell us about it?
I only have two people left. It's a rematch. Christopher Daniels, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler. Let's go with the best in the world, Macho Man. World titles on the line. Even here, and not by design, you can see the Punk tights that are inspired by Macho Man. You know what I mean? He's done the elbow off of him a little bit. I think these two would have clicked so well. Another one that could have had some fun promos here. These two could have just some great matches. I think these two would have gelled really well in the ring. And let's I'm gonna go new school. I'm gonna say Punk walks away your victor here in the main event.
Yeah, the promos would have been something. Randy Savage cutting promos on CM Punk about his straight edge stuff would have been interesting. Oh, you don't like to drink? Yeah, Macho Man enjoys a good beverage every now and then. Yeah. Well, you don't? That's fine with me. I might shove one down your throat. Yeah. Just that could have been something. I would like to see those guys interact. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a solid main event.
I like it.
And if Punk loses, I know Punk's going over, but if Punk loses, he has to, he has to drink. I don't know.
No, I would never do that.
No, you don't do that.
I know, I'm being silly.
You're not gonna make him do a field sobriety test in the ring.
Yeah. What a weird feud. Wasn't that with Jericho or whatever?
Yeah,
Jericho. Yeah,
that was so weird.
Roster,
when he broke the Jack Daniels bottle over his head and shit like that. Yeah, what a weird feud.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we presented 4 pretty solid cards, if I do say so myself. So WWE, if you're watching, and you need new bookers, our numbers are, well, no, they're not, but you can reach out to us somehow and we'll get back to you. We're pretty busy, but we might make time for you.
Might take me cool.
But No, this was a lot of fun. This is definitely something I would love to revisit in the near future and maybe do a follow-up show. So if you guys are down. And also doing a whole other draft of superstars and wrestlers that weren't chosen this time, because there's a lot of big names that were left off, and I think we could make shows just as good as these ones. So
Yeah, I already made a list of potential draftees for a part 2, pretty much of like 50 people, potentially draft. So I went down a rabbit hole the other night.
I'd hate for that list.
And just I've already got a list together of people I would draft. So I think doing a follow up would be fun at some point. Maybe not like immediately, but maybe a month from now or something. We do like a follow up draft, and do something else. But what's on tap for next week? It depends on what you guys are talking about, whether or not I join you. So we gonna get some current events out of the way. I feel like y'all haven't started current events in a while, so I'll probably let y'all should probably do that. See what's going on in the world.
Yeah, we haven't really just done what's going on in the wrestling world episode. So maybe
should we do like a kind of a delayed backlash review, considering we did all that backlash thing to lead up to that show? I mean, actually did the show.
That would make sense if I actually watched the show and not just Rollins and Rhodes and then the main event. So sorry, I forgot the show was Austin and I did. We were doing a podcast about movies, and I only remembered that the show was on because I got a notification on my phone telling me that it was starting. But otherwise, I probably would have forgot and not watched it at all. So.
Maybe we can do. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Maybe we could do like another retro show or something. Watch another review or something.
We've got options. I was also thinking one option, just to throw it out there. We do another draft, but you can draft. You can't draft anyone you've already drafted. So we'd be picking from each other's rosters to a degree, or new people. We do that.
Yeah, you can do the second draft next week if you want to do
Well, I was going to suggest if we do a retro show, it's around the time they usually did King of the Ring. We should do a retro King of the Ring pay-per-view and watch something. If that's an idea.
That's an idea.
So, do one of the
something around King
shows.
Of the Ring. Yeah.
Do the classic one where Billy Gunn won the time. King of the Ring.
Oh God. Yeah.
We could do a King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
We'll talk off air. We'll
We'll work something out.
Yeah.
But
we've been going long enough. We'll talk off air and plan out the next show and not do it on here. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're this is one of our longer episodes. We're 2.5 hours in, so let's just hit with some quick plugs. Richie, what do you got going on?
I'm always on the Movie Hero Network. I think next week I'll be on Tier Rankifieds doing coming of age movies, so that should be fun. There's a lot of coming of age movies, so that might be hard to narrow down. But we've
already some interesting opinions in the chat we have on Facebook. So
the chat, and I'm. Other than that, I'm always on. I've got next week I got an Edgar for Full Random. I've got an Edgar Wright directed movies random match coming out, and that should be fun. And I'm always on Jordan's channel doing trivia, Pixel List and whatnot. I did Pixel List this morning, so if you want to check that out, do so. And I'm around. And I'll be here next week talking about whatever.
All right. Jordan, sounds like you have a busy weekend.
Yes. Hey, do you guys like wrestling? I've got wrestling for you. Friday, catch me in Port Richey for WWN World Wrestling Network. I will be managing Andrew Gradato as we defeat Chungus. You're going down, you son of a bitch. On Sunday, Full Impact Pro, I will be at. Then let's jump to the end of the month, May 27th. Real Pro Wrestling returns, Fort Myers. We've got Cody Deaner in the house. We got a dog collar match. We have a former member of La Resistance might show up. That's a true story. And then the next night, May 28th, over in Tampa, Fighting for a Cure. Great event we do every year, raising money for the American Cancer Society. We've raised over 40 grand over the last few years. I think already Joe Cool, the promoter, has already raised a couple of grand just from outside endeavors, and we haven't even had the show yet. Haku, aka Ming, is on the show. Jimmy Hart is on the show. Maybe some more appearances to be seen. I'm on the show. I think I might be in a battle royal, so I'm gonna catch me actually competing. I'm going for the W, mostly because no one's getting me over the top rope, baby. Oh, and the Pierceco and Pierce Wrestling reviews channels. I just interviewed TJ Perkins, former Cruiserweight champion, over at Pierce Wrestling channel. Really fun interview. About 2 hours we talked. Yeah, exclusive matches, trivia. Richie's on there defeating Brian, all that jazz.
No, Richie's on there losing to
Oh, my bad.
You don't need to get. You don't need to get like lack of facts getting away with a good story. Yes.
Hey, we want true and correct facts on this show. All right. Okay. Austin, what do you got going on?
Yeah, Henry Confidential and I just did a Stanley Kubrick Let's Rank stuff. We had a really long, meaty discussion about those movies. It was really good. Next week we'll be blowing it off something a little more lighthearted with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
Lighthearted?
So yeah. Well, compared to it's like people getting cut up with chainsaws, but it's not exactly high art, on the Kubrick level. So we wanted something a little breezier.
We all know number one, but number two better be McConaughey. I'm just saying.
Hey, I like that movie a lot, actually. That movie's a fun guilty pleasure. But yeah, so we'll be doing that next week, and tomorrow night on the Movie Hero Network, we'll be doing Moose Haas from the Schmodown. Moose is top 64, Moose. So tournament fights. Moose. So and it'll be interesting because it's the panel is it's me and Jordan co-hosting, but it's all of him and his family on the show. So it'll be a really interesting show. So we'll see what happens.
That'll be an interesting one. I'll have to watch the replay of that.
If Moose is there, see if we can get some Harry Carries up here.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We had Harry Carey on the show. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. See if he can show up again.
I mean, I don't know what that has to do with Moose Haas, but we just contacted Harry Carey. I don't know what you're talking about.
Harry's friends.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can bring up El Generico when talking about Sami Zayn, I mean that seems very out. Yeah.
That's
anyway,
transition.
Anyway, that'll be an interesting one. I'll have to watch the replay because I'm out of town this weekend, which means we will not be doing an episode of a podcast about movies.
What?
We will be back the following weekend talking about the Scream franchise because I've only seen the first two, so I'm gonna watch the rest of the series, and Austin and I are going to talk about that. I think we kind of decided we're going to dedicate one show a month to sort of a franchise of our choice, and this month we chose Scream. I chose Scream, and he agreed.
That's fine with me because I don't have to prep that much for it because Henry and I did Scream like a month ago, so I don't have to prep too much for it. I've watched all those movies very recently, so yeah.
Which works out because we do have a show the following week that has some pretty big prep. We're going to be doing an episode celebrating anniversary movies, starting from 72 and going every 5 years. So that's going to be a fun episode. We each picked 10 movies celebrating their 50th, 45th, 40th, so on and so forth, up till 2017. That was all Austin's idea, and I thought it sounded great. So this time I agreed.
Also, me and Richie got jealous.
Yeah,
sorry.
We've each got a mix of like half, first time watches of just stuff we want to watch, and half movies we're going to kind of champion that we've already seen, sort of a thing. So, it'd be a mix of those things.
And I picked one movie that I'm pretty sure Austin will not watch. Find out what that is when we do the episode.
Well, I've actually seen the movie you picked. I just fell asleep. Okay. So I can talk about that. I watched it at college class and I fell asleep.
Me and Richie got jealous of a podcast about movies, so check out our new podcast, a podcast about boobies. And we go through Mr.
We just review old porn tapes. We review like Debbie does Debbie Does Dallas and
Whoa! Don't make this
Taboo.
nasty. I'm
And,
talking
what
art.
are you talking about?
I'm talking Titanic.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
talking
You're watching.
Raider. I'm
Oh,
talking.
you're gonna watch classy shit like Emmanuel, right? Like the original.
Yes, there you
France.
go.
Yeah.
No, like I thought it'd be like on Knocked Up where they show that website where it's like boobs in film, whatever it is.
Yeah, and then they realized Mr. Skin's a thing, and the planet all
Yeah,
goes to ruin.
Yeah.
Flesh of the Stars, I think it was called. Flesh of the Stars. He's like, you mean like Mr. Skin? Oh shit! God damn,
right.
beat us to it.
Well, be sure to catch that on the Booby Hero Network.